you all the latest as we track the story.
All right, that's a video, Sector 75, Noida, where the fire has just erupted. We are taking a short break, Amrita, right now, but as we leave, in fact, we will be staying on the story. This is Sector 75, Noida, Noida apartment fire, and we have put those pictures out, full frame for you. And you can clearly see, viewers, that this fire is on a higher floor, Amrita. It looks like the fire is broken out in one particular side, in the corner of that residential building,
right,
on a higher floor. And it looks like one of the apartments are caught fire, because you can see that a fire has erupted. There's a very, very heavy blaze in the balcony of that particular residential apartment.
Right, and we still don't know if any fire emergency services have rushed to spot to douse the fire, because it looks like a high-rise apartment, and definitely will need emergency fire services to come on the spot to douse the fire.
All right, taking a short break. Viewers, much more coming right up. Republic investigation is also exposing the rot in the system, Amrita.
That's right, 90% of the BNBs working in New Delhi did not have a valid fire. Coming up next after a very short break. Stay tuned.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा प्योर मसाला
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट अब बताओ स्वाद आया
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
जब तक लाजवाब न बन जाए उसे नहीं इत्मीनान है, तभी तो रिचमंड बनना नहीं आसान है।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा सबका राजा प्योर मसाला।
I want to start with some very disturbing pictures that have come in of a so-called right-wing leader. His name is Sushil Prajapati. He's accused of rape. After being in jail for 9 months, he gets bail, which means he's still an accused. He's an accused in a rape case. And the case goes back to 2025 when he took an LLB student to one place on the pretext of introducing her to a senior advocate. He drugged her drink and then he sexually assaulted her. He is still under trial for rape. He has not been released. But when he comes out, this rape accused, garlands are put on him as if he's some kind of a hero, as if he's achieved something great. Is a rapist to be celebrated?
ठंडक लाए सबको भाई जीरा से MTH का जल जीरा जीरा से
असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
रानी इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, delicious, healthy, every day.
In fact, very often I believe the only way to get justice in India is a media trial. So there's no reason for the media, if it's doing a good job of a media trial, to be on the back foot. In fact, the courts should stop making these overarching remarks about media trial and contemplate about one very basic thing. With the greatest of respect to the courts, when the other institutions fail, when people get let down by the system, when even the judiciary does not seem to be listening or raising a noise about issues like in the case of Twisha Sharma. Who does the public look to for justice, for raising their voice, for bringing something that's utterly false, illegal or wrong to public attention? It is only and only the media. And today, therefore, we are doing a media trial in this specific case, ladies and gentlemen, of Twisha Sharma, the 33-year-old daughter-in-law of an ex-judge, in a case where the ex-judge and the ex-judge's advocate's son appear to be more than involved. Ladies and gentlemen, 15 questions tonight. And if they think it's a media trial, so be it. So be it. Why did the ex-judge in the case of Twisha Sharma, neither she nor her son call a police or an ambulance? What took them 57 minutes to bring the body down? Where are the three?
A very good morning, viewers. We are live this morning. I'm Shivangi Shukla getting you the latest coming in. And I have my colleague Amrita with me. Amrita, the big story we're tracking right now is a breaking news story. It's coming from Noida. There's a fire which has erupted at a residential building in Noida.
That's right. It has struck in a high-rise building apartment. As of now, we have no reports of any casualties, but this is the latest that we're seeing. After a few days in the Delhi Marganagar fire, another residential fire struck in the apartment building. We'll get all the details, but first take a look at the headlines. Republic investigation exposes the rot in the system. 90% of the BNBs working in New Delhi did not have a valid fire NOC.
Arnab announces live social media interaction at 12 p.m. today, likely to outline future political plans.
The Reserve Bank of India is set to announce its June monetary policy decision today. Outcome highly anticipated amid global economic uncertainties.
DMK to skip Indi bloc on June 8th, meet after fallout with Congress over Tamil Nadu ports.
Prime Minister Modi to visit Surat and Daman today, set to inaugurate projects worth rupees 1,063 crores in Gujarat.
US President Trump hints at new US-India trade deal, says India benefited from high tariffs but has changed now, says we'll get a trade deal done. All right, viewers, let's go to the breaking news development that we're getting for you right now. This is a live story that we are tracking. We'll put out the pictures in a short while. Massive fire engulfs a residential building in Noida. This is the apartment building in Noida. We're still waiting for more information to come in as to exactly what this caused this fire. But multiple flats are feared engulfed in that fire. Amrita, we put out that video, and in that video we will see very, very soon, and our viewers are watching right now. This video shows that the fire is at a higher floor, but because of how intense that fire is, many flats have been affected. Now we are still waiting for more updates. This is the 12th floor of the high-rise building in Sector 75, and this is a very, very tall high-rise building there.
Right, and it looks like it's on a higher floor, and we are still awaiting to determine the cause of the fire, but it looks like the blaze is massive enough to completely engulf the adjoining flats as well. It looks like, as per reports, it's around 11th or 12th floor of this apartment complex in Sector 75 in Noida. A massive fire. You can see this thick smoke coming out from this fire, and the fire continues to rage on, and it looks like that it has in fact struck a lot of damage in that particular flats and other adjoining flats as well. A major fire tragedy again struck in Noida just days after the Malvianagar fire. This is another fire tragedy, and now we are determining as to how the fire had originated. As of now, there has no reports of any casualties so far, but we are tracking all of the details as what went down in the fire in the residential building in Sector 75 today.
That's right. So we'll stick on with these pictures coming in, and the reason that we are raising this and we are talking about this story, is that multiple hotels were recently shut after that Malviya Nagar fire because they were found to have not be in line with the safety protocols. Now we have more pictures coming in. Let's take a look at these pictures. These are some pictures coming in of, it looks like that the emergency and the rescue and relief operations are ongoing, and you can see that some of the apartments are completely burnt. This is a very serious fire, and firefighters trying to put out that fire. Now it looks like the fire has been put out there, but we're still waiting for more updates as to how many fire tenders were at the spot, whether there have been any casualties and what caused the fire. But definitely a very, very serious fire. At least 2 to 3, maybe more flats have been affected, Amrita.
That's right. We are seeing almost 3 or 4 floors that was also struck by the fire. You can see this charred remains after the aftermath of the fire. It looks like it was a massive fire. In fact, completely blackened the roofs and all of the balconies there of the structure. These are live visuals of a rescue operation as firefighters now have put out the fire. You can still see some smokes coming out of this apartment building. These are charred structure. These are live visuals. Now we have for you viewers a rescue operation being carried out at the apartment complex, a residential high-rise complex in sector 75 of Noida. You can see almost 5 floors to be completely blackened there, Shivangi, that we are seeing that almost 5 floors have been affected as the fire had raged on, and looks like other flats of the building structure has also been affected by the fire. But we are now ascertaining as to how many casualties could have been incurred during this fire tragedy.
Right. You can clearly see, Amrita, that these are live pictures that are coming in, viewers, by the way. And a couple of those floors, a couple of the balconies of the apartment buildings are completely charred. Like Amrita, my colleague, was pointing out, they're completely black. So we are still waiting for more updates to come in as to how many people were still inside, whether they are safe, whether there are any injuries. We're still waiting for more updates to come in on that. We'll get a clarity on that as more inputs come in from our teams, but as we keep getting our viewers more updates, these are live pictures coming in of the relief and rescue operations which are underway. The fire looks like it's under control right now, but previously the visuals we showed to our viewers, the fire was very, very serious. It was a blazing fire, and thick plumes of smoke could be seen coming out. Many of these floors have been affected, so you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 floors, Amrita, have been affected in that side of the residential apartment. This is sector 75, by the way, in Noida.
Right, and also we are seeing rescue operations from the fire department. A huge truck has been carrying out rescue operations there, and by using their mechanical ladder, you can see the fire operatives, personnel also trying to douse the fire. As of now, the fire has been doused, it has brought under control, but the aftermath looks very serious, and we are still awaiting reports of any injuries of any person who have caught severe burns, or are they undergoing any medical treatment. Now I'm joined by my colleague on the phone line, Harsh, who has more updates. Harsh, do tell us, how did the fire originate and how many apartment buildings have been struck? Do we have any reports of any casualties in this fire?
Right, Amrita, massive fire broke out in the apartment building of Ivy Country that is located in Noida, sector 75. This is one of the poshest societies in this particular sector. In fact, multiple sectors around this have such kind of societies, and we are being told that this fire first engulfed the 12th floor of one of these apartments, and then it intensified across different apartments of the same floor. Now, the intensity of the fire at this point seems to be massive, and multiple fire tenders were rushed to the spot immediately when the fire was reported earlier this morning. However, what is the exact extent of the damage, and is there any casualty or anyone has been hurt in this fire incident is yet to be ascertained. We are trying to get in touch with the fire officials. However, the rescue operation, in fact, is currently underway. In fact, multiple fire tenders were rushed to the spot at the society. And we are talking about a posh society in Noida, sector 75. Ivy County is the name of the society. It is located in Noida, sector 75. And multiple fire tenders have been rushed to the spot. And multiple teams of, in fact, fire department has been are trying their best to get control of this fire. However, the exact situation can only be ascertained once we have an official remark by the personnel who are deployed here, and once they get a little time to speak to us. But this is a massive fire that we are seeing just days after another hotel fire in Delhi, heart of Delhi, in fact, claimed the lives of 21 innocent people. And this is what we are seeing now in Noida. This is a tragic state of affairs, but more has to be felt in this regard. But this is a massive fire, Amrita.
That's right. Okay, thank you, Harsh, for getting us all those details. This is a developing story, so we'll be getting our viewers all the updates as to what exactly is the latest update from the Noida fire. Let's move ahead, viewers, to some of the other stories we're tracking. Despite a ceasefire aimed at ending more than 2 years of war in Gaza, deadly violence continues. At least 9 citizens were killed in overnight Israeli strikes in Gaza City.
That's right, Shivangi. And the attacks come as international attention remains focused on the escalating conflict between Hezbollah and Israel in Lebanon. Here's more on the story. Take a look.
Even as global attention shifts towards the growing confrontation between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon, Gaza continues to witness violence on an everyday basis. At least 9 people were killed in a series of overnight strikes across Gaza City, according to local hospitals. Officials said that the bodies of the victims arrived from at least 4 separate strike locations. One of the attacks left a residential apartment building heavily damaged. Video from the scene showed a massive hole torn through an upper floor and shattered interior walls with blood all over the place. Families gathered at the hospital to mourn the loved ones, while relatives of the victims said that the violence has continued despite the ceasefire agreement.
نحن نعيش هنا حالة استنزاف وحالة إبادة دائمة في قطاع غزة. الحرب لن تقف، الحرب مستمرة. كل ليلة هناك قتل وهناك شهداء عندنا. كل ليلة وفي والصباح والمساء وفي الليل، ولذلك مستمر هذا القتل عندنا. يقولون أن الحرب وقفت، الحرب لم تقف أيها العالم.
The latest fatalities come despite a ceasefire reached in October, which was intended to halt the devastating conflict between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. Israel, however, says that its military actions target threats to its forces and are carried out in response to the ceasefire violations, as 4 Israeli soldiers have been killed in Gaza since the truce began. With Gaza's ceasefire increasingly under strain and casualties mounting on both sides, concerns are growing that the conflict could once again spiral into a wider and more intense confrontation.
And for the first time, China has banned 4 New Zealand lawmakers for a year. And this is coming in over their visit to Taiwan. According to China, they have violated their One China principle. The Chinese embassy in New Zealand said that the ban was a result of the MPs disregarding China's serious concerns and insisting on visiting Taiwan as parliamentarians.
Right, a stark remark from China. Now, Beijing has also demanded that they should apologize for their parliamentary trip to Taiwan. The visit in May comprised lawmakers from the ruling coalition, Maureen Pugh, David Wilson and Laura McClure, as well as Duncan Webb from the opposition Labour Party. Here's more details in the story. Take a look.
China has imposed a 1-year entry ban on 4 New Zealand lawmakers following their recent visit to Taiwan. Beijing says the MPs violated its One China principle by engaging with Taiwanese officials during the trip in May.
近期，新西兰个别议员不顾中方的严重关切和坚决反对，执意窜访中国台湾地区，违反一个中国原则，干涉中国内政。根据中华人民共和国相关法律，中方决定对有关人员采取禁止入境等措施。我要强调的是，一个中国原则是国际社会的普遍共识和国际关系基本准则，也是中新关系的政治基础。 我们奉劝有关人员切实尊重中国主权和领土完整，严格恪守一个中国原则。在台湾问题上踩线越界，必将付出代价。
Chinese authorities have accused the lawmakers of interfering in China's internal affairs and have reportedly demanded an apology. Those barred from entering China include coalition lawmakers Maureen Pug, David Wilson, Laura McClure, along with opposition Labour MP Duncan Webb. The move marks a rare diplomatic escalation and is believed to be the first time New Zealand parliamentarians have been individually sanctioned by Beijing. Speaking after learning of the ban, MP Laura McClure said she was informed through parliamentary channels after China's embassy expressed its objectives to the Taiwan visit.
So I found out via an email that came actually from the office of the Clerk of Parliament, that the Chinese embassy had visited them and indicated their displeasure at the visit and wanted to pass on the message that myself and the other members of Parliament had been effectively banned for 1 year from China.
She argued that the travel restrictions appear aimed at discouraging future visits by New Zealand lawmakers to Taiwan and other regions viewed sensitively by Beijing.
What I do think is that this is an intimidation tactic to put off future members of Parliament travelling to Taiwan or to other countries that potentially, China might not be happy about. So I think this is an intimidation tactic, and I think it sends that quite a serious message across, and very concerning.
Rejecting calls for an apology, McClure said engaging with international partners is a part of her role as an elected representative and defended the importance of maintaining ties with Taiwan.
Absolutely not. I will not be apologising for travelling to Taiwan or travelling anywhere else in the world. It's part of my job as an elected representative of New Zealand to go to other countries to discuss the shared interest, to talk about trade, look for new opportunities. And again, particularly with that Indigenous connection, I think it is really important that we do have a good relationship with Taiwan and the likes of China as well. So I won't be apologising for visiting at all.
She added that New Zealand can continue building relationships with Taiwan while also maintaining constructive engagement with China. The development has sparked political debate beyond New Zealand, with Australian lawmakers emphasising that parliamentarians should remain free to make their own decisions about overseas travel.
So, Amrita, those are some of the important global stories that we're tracking. Coming up next, we'll tell you more about what's happening all over the globe. Let's get started.
Russian President Vladimir Putin said Moscow will strengthen its air defense systems following recent Ukrainian drone attacks deep inside Russian territory. Vladimir Putin also stated Russia remains open to a compromise on Ukraine, provided Kyiv agrees to understandings reached during talks with U.S. President Donald Trump in Anchorage.
Many Lufthansa employees were injured after the nose gear of a bucked Boeing 787 Dreamliner unexpectedly retracted at Frankfurt Airport. The aircraft was preparing for a Los Angeles flight and only crew and ground staff were on board. Authorities have launched an investigation into the incident.
Fresh clashes erupted between opposition supporters and security forces in Somalia's capital, Mogadishu, ahead of an anti-government protest. The United Nations and United States expressed concern, urging all sides to exercise restraint and resolve political differences through dialogue.
Thousands of people anticipated in Jerusalem's annual Pride Parade under heavy security. Organizers held the event under the theme demanding change, equality, justice, hope. Opposition leader Yair Lapid voiced support for LGBTQ rights, calling it a struggle for freedom, democracy and acceptance. US President Trump said that Prime Minister Modi is a good friend and expressed confidence that the United States and India would reach a trade agreement. This comes amid multiple roadblocks to the much speculated trade deal.
That's right. And although Donald Trump also hinted that US is making much profits by levying tariffs on India, the trade deal is something he looks forward to. Watch this Worldview report by Republic's editor-in-chief, consulting editor Saurabh Shukla for more.
Hi. In my view of the world today, I'm going to talk about what President Trump said about India and his relationship with Prime Minister Modi. He again spoke about the fact that the trade deal between India and the US will happen very soon, which is a great positive move. But he did mention the old narrative that is doing the rounds about that India was making use of the US. They were benefiting at the cost of US by having higher tariffs. He spoke about Harley-Davidson, which has been a long pending issue, which obviously India has sorted, and India has been saying that it wants an equitable trade relationship with the US. As you know, that US had levied tariffs on India, and more recently, some new tariffs were also sought to be imposed on India for labor-related issues, but that's can be tackled if the trade deal happens very soon. And I'm getting to know from my sources that that's in the final stage of negotiation. A US delegation is in Delhi to make sure that the final wrinkles are all ironed out. So that's a good news for US-India relationship. But I want to talk about a bigger fundamental issue. What really has happened since Prime Minister Modi's big visit to the US here in February last year? Post that, I think what really happened that in Washington, D.C., we missed the ball on handling the relationship in the manner in which it should have been. I've spoken to ambassadors, diplomats all around D.C. For the past couple of years. And my sense is that brand India has been missing, if you ask me. That is one of the reasons. In the Trumpian world, diplomacy is done very differently. It's no longer that you pass on diplomatic notes, you engage with some State Department leaders, and that's it. Even though you are engaging with them, it has to be done differently. You have to use people all around. Indian Americans are a great strength for India. But are the Indian American leaders being used? The answer is a big no. I speak to many Indian American leaders, top CEOs. Some of them tell me that they need to be asked, how can they help brand India? It's being done in bits and pieces, but I think the out-of-the-box diplomacy that India needs has to be done in a more coherent manner. That's what is missing from the Indian piece in DC. Even though the relationship between President Trump and Prime Minister Modi is great, but it should not be coming to principles. It should be coming to people down below to trickle down this approach that the India relationship is too important. You have to be visible. That's what is missing. And that is where I think the Prime Minister and his key advisors have to set in motion a new revive. I would say resetting this relationship, thinking through a diplomacy differently, like what they've done in Bangladesh. Prime Minister Modi had somebody who he trusted. Dinesh Trivedi has gone as India's High Commissioner to Bangladesh, clearly sending a clear message that Prime Minister wants a close confidant who can do things differently in a key diplomatic outpost. DC requires that one as well, because what you need today is engaging with the Trump leadership. You need to engage with President Trump, who values his partnership with Prime Minister Modi, but it cannot be done by the US Ambassador Sergio Gore. It's a great advantage that you have somebody like Sergio Gore sitting in New Delhi who has the eyes and ears of the president, and he can make sure he can make things happen. But on this end, I think we need to revitalize the relationship in a really big way. That requires some out-of-the-box diplomacy, that requires a strategic way of thinking, which is not happening. And I think while President Trump made it very clear that the relationship that he values is with Prime Minister Modi, but I think the India partnership can go on a fast gear if we make some corrective measures here.
A tragic accident has been reported from Haryana's Faridabad. where a crane overturned at an under-construction flyover linked to the Jewar International Airport corridor.
And during this tragic incident, the crane reportedly collapsed during the adverse weather conditions that happened and trapped workers inside a container below. Rescue teams rushed to the spot, but 3 laborers unfortunately lost their lives, while 1 worker was rescued with injuries. Take a look at this report.
A major accident took place at the under-construction Jewar Airport flyover project near Panhera Khurd in Faridabad. A heavy crane reportedly overturned during construction work amid stormy weather conditions, crashing onto a container at the site. SDRF teams, police personnel launched an immediate rescue operation to pull out those trapped beneath the debris. 1 worker was rescued alive, but 3 other laborers trapped inside the container could not be saved.
आंधी के दौरान ना ये क्रेन पलट चुकी थी। अभी फिलहाल में तो हम देख रहे हैं, फिलहाल तो 2 आदमी निकल चुके हैं। अभी एक भाई अभी ऐसे बैठा हुआ अभी क्रेन काट रहे हुए पक्ष को। कितने आदमी थे? कम से कम 5-6 आदमी थे। हाँ 2 निकाल लिए, अभी 3-4 हो गए। कितने बजे की घटना है? ये 2:30 बजे 3 बजे करीब।
Authorities have begun an investigation into the circumstances leading to the crane collapse at the construction site.
And taking a short break, Amrita, much more coming up on the other side. What do we have coming up next for our viewers?
That's right, Shivangi. Coming up next, a Republic investigation exposes the rot in the system. 90% of the BNBs working in New Delhi did not have a valid fire NOC.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार। क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा प्योर मसाला।
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े। असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
ऑक्टोरोमा मैनुअल वाइंडिंग 4 लोगों के पास है।
कुछ इससे भी अनोखा।
कमला पसंद सिर्फ एक अनोखा स्वाद। कमला पसंद पान मसाला।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मम्मा, क्या स्वाद है?
अरे मेरे राजा,
प्योर मसाला।
I want to start with some very disturbing pictures that have come in of a so-called right-wing leader. His name is Sushil Prajapati. He is accused of rape. After being in jail for 9 months, he gets bail, which means he's still an accused.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरी डे।
In fact, very often I believe the only way to get justice in India is a media trial. So there's no reason for the media, if it's doing a good job of a media trial, to be on the back foot. In fact, the courts should stop making these overarching remarks about media trial and contemplate about one very basic thing. With the greatest of respect to the courts, when the other institutions fail, when people get let down by the system, when even the judiciary does not seem to be listening or raising a noise about issues, like in the case of Twisha Sharma. Who does the public look to for justice, for raising their voice, for bringing something that's utterly false, illegal or wrong to public attention? It is only and only the media. And today, therefore, we are doing a media trial in this specific case, ladies and gentlemen, of Twisha Sharma, the 33-year-old daughter-in-law of an ex-judge in a case.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
A very warm welcome, viewers. You're watching Republic TV. This is Shivam Dutt Mehta, and our top focus story will be K. Annamalai, because he has decided to exit from the BJP. However, he's going to make an announcement today at 12 noon, and maybe he'll be outlining his future plans, his new political party, or his new movement that he's going to start. We'll get you all the latest details of that, because we are tracking the story and also other top national and international breaking developments. But first up, let's have a look at the top headlines of the hour. Massive fire engulfed residential apartment in Noida. Multiple flats feared engulfed in blaze. Rescue operations underway in Noida sector 75. Republic investigation exposes the rot in the system. 90% of the BNBs working in New Delhi did not have a valid fire NOC. Annamalai announces live social media interaction at 12 p.m. today, likely to outline future political plans. DMK to skip Indie bloc on June 8 meet after fallout with Congress over Tamil Nadu polls. The Reserve Bank of India is set to announce its June monetary policy decision today. Outcome highly anticipated amid global economic uncertainties. US President Donald Trump hints at new US-India trade deal. Says India benefited from high tariffs but has changed now. Says will get a trade deal done. All right, viewers, let's begin this bulletin with a shocking development that we are getting from Mohali, and this is about a brutal stabbing case. And a woman employee was brutally stabbed to death in Mohali. That's the latest that we are getting, and that didn't end there. The stabbing didn't end there. After the brutal stabbing, the stabber also stabbed himself. So he committed suicide in this case. A young woman working at a private company near Bestek Mall, sector 66 in Phase 11, was stabbed to death by her former partner. As per her alleged former partner, after committing the crime, the accused attempted suicide by stabbing himself. Both were rushed in critical condition to a private hospital where doctors pronounced the young woman dead. Meanwhile, the condition of the accused also remains critical. These are the visuals, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, graphic visuals. Viewers' discretion is advised in this video. As you can see, this is the video of the brutal stabbing. And he kept on stabbing the girl. And on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, we are showing you the visuals of the stabbing, the brutal. He's stabbing himself also. Let's go to Lalit. Shocking visuals, ladies and gentlemen. I would request your discretion in this video. All right, let's go to Lalit for all the latest in this. Lalit, it's a shocking stabbing video. He not only stabbed the woman, it is alleged that he is her ex-boyfriend, and there is a breakup angle here. But Lalit, what's the latest that you are fetching from the ground?
It's a very shocking incident which has been reported from Mohali. The incident is said to be of Thursday,
evening around 7 p.m. when a young girl, the deceased name has been said to be Dimple, who has been working in a private company near the Westgate Mall in Sector 66 in Mohali. They both were working in a movers and packers company. They had a relationship from the past 3 years, and around 6 months before they had a breakup, and after that the girl distanced herself from the lover who was the former boyfriend named Harvinder alias Harry. So yesterday, in a fit of rage, as he has been attempting to once again have a relationship with her girlfriend, but she had distanced herself. So yesterday evening around 7, when she was in the office itself, the former boyfriend, who is also the colleague, entered into the office, and in a fit of rage, he stabbed the girl multiple times on the neck, and after that he himself also attempted suicide. The colleague, basically it all happened within a fraction of seconds. There was a lot of chaos and panic inside the office, as when the boyfriend named Harinder alias Harry was stabbing the young girl, no one could even interfere at that moment, as it happened within fraction of the second. After that, both the girl and the boy was being rushed into the private hospital, where the doctors declared the young girl named Dimple dead, while the boyfriend named Harinder is said to be in the critical condition. So right now, police is looking after the love angle, as it has been said that from the past 6 months after the breakup, Harinder was in a mental distress. He wanted to rebuild a relationship with Dimple, but she distanced herself and
Yes, Lalit, because these are horrific visuals. Lalit, what action are we looking at? Because he himself had stabbed himself only, and it's a case of suicide also, and a murder case also in this case. But the visuals are quite horrific, quite brutal. But what's happening to the society in this case? That's the big question. Where exactly did it happen, Lalit?
The exact location is in Sector 66, Phase 11 in Mohali. There is a company of movers and packers in which they both were working from the past 3 years. Inside the company only, they had a relationship with each other. They had a quite a good relationship, but around 6 months before, they had a breakup, and after the breakup, Harinder was in a state of mental distress. So he was trying to rekindle the relationship, rebuild the relationship, but the girl has distanced herself. So yesterday, when he came inside the office, as the girl has a late evening shift, so that time he attacked. One thing more, that is to point out that they both have been colleagues inside the company. So Harinder came inside the office, and as he was a normal colleague, and they had a talk with each other. After that, it ended into altercation, and after that, Harinder just stabbed her multiple times in the neck. So the former colleagues tried to intervene, but that time it was quite late, as it all happened within a fraction of seconds. There had been a lot of chaos and panic inside the office, and after that he himself also attempted suicide. He himself also could be seen stabbing his neck. So both were rushed to a private hospital in a very critical condition, where doctors declared the young girl named Dimple, who hails from Patiala, dead, while Harvinder is said to be in a very critical condition. So police is investigating this murder case, but yes, it's a horrific and a shocking incident which has been reported, and the way it could be seen in the CCTV footage also, it seemed that the Harinder was in a state of mental distress, and what all happened, it all happened within just a fraction of seconds, and the young girl named Dimple was stabbed multiple times. Back to the studio.
All right, Lalit, thanks a lot for all the details in this story. All right, viewers, now let's shift our focus to the Annamalai story, because there's going to be a big announcement today as the suspense ends, because Annamalai in his post has said that he is going to go live at 12 noon today, and he will be declaring and he will be interacting, because a suspense is building on Annamalai's next move. Annamalai announces that live social media interaction will be happening at around 12 noon today. And Annamalai is likely to outline future political plans in this case. Now, that's the big question, because speculation over K. Annamalai's political future has intensified, with the former Tamil Nadu BJP chief expected to make a key announcement. Now, the exit is confirmed because we were the first to break this development, and he had submitted his resignation. However, earlier, the BJP leadership were denying of any such meeting or resignation earlier, but now he is set to move away from the BJP. However, we'll have to wait and watch over his social media life, that what exactly will he be saying. All right, let's go to Amrita from the newsroom for what's happening with K. Annamalai and the future decision that he's going to make and the key announcement that we can expect. Amrita, what are the possible scenarios? What kind of announcement are we looking at? Because he's going to go live at 12 noon on all social media platforms that he is on, Amrita.
Right, Shivam, and this is not a simple online live activity. This is coming from an ex-BJP chief, K. Annamalai. He has just come back to Karnataka after meeting with top BJP brass. And now this is being read as a possible exit from the BJP. Or maybe another scenario that is coming up that could happen is him being a B plan for the BJP as well. Because in Tamil Nadu, for Annamalai, this is a very key strategic move for him, because there have been reports that he would exit, that he has resigned from the BJP, and the very next day there was a big U-turn saying that he did not resign. But this possible announcement that he says will be a heart-to-heart interaction with his supporters, but it is being read as a possible launch of a particular movement that could slowly turn into a party, a big political party that could represent regional politics, that could represent regional aspirations, that could turn into a big political party in just 6 months. So this move is being read by many experts as a launch of a movement led by Annamalai, and also reflecting the regional aspirations, and possibly turn into a big political party. That's going to happen at 12 noon and in a live interaction in his X post as well. Shivam.
Yeah, Amrita, we were the first ones to break the news exactly when it happened, and it was a big Republic scoop that he's going to resign from the Bharatiya Janata Party. He had resigned, but he went to Delhi. He came to Delhi. He met the senior leadership in this case, because that was a courtesy meet. And also, BJP also called the state's chief, the president in this case. All of this is happening because of the rift, because the BJP was getting close to AIADMK. Can we expect something out of the blue, something out of the box also in the live, Facebook live or YouTube live or Insta live, that he is going to do something different from what's happening?
It is hard to say, Shivam, but it is a high probability that there may be a major announcement, because that visit to New Delhi and meeting with the Home Minister and also meeting with the BJP national president was not random. He was there, he met with them, spoke with them at length. He also submitted a 5-page letter, and that is what Republic broke when that happened, a 5-page letter, and he was reflecting, and as per our reports, he was saying that he was reflecting gratitude. You don't say that to a party leader if you are not going to resign, if you're not going to start a new break off or start a new party. So this looks like that he will be a soft launch, as what many experts are saying, the soft launch into a big political party, but not instantly. This could start as a small movement where he will be nurturing grassroots leader. He will be gathering all like-minded individuals, grooming them and also nurturing them and into future leaders. But this will be something that will reflect a regional aspirations in Tamil Nadu, because there have been a big fallout with the BJP AIADMK alliance. Even after the elections, they have suffered greatly, with many cadres of the AIADMK all breaking faction from the AIADMK, even moving to TVK. So this is this is also being seen as a possible firefighting effort from the BJP. Even that could be another scenario that is happening, as Annamalai might be a plan B poster boy of the BJP, but separate from the BJP. So it remains to be seen at what comes out at the announcement, but we are expecting a major announcement from K. Annamalai at 12 noon today. Shiva.
All right, yeah, definitely, and we'll show all the developments live also in this case. And now, thanks a lot, Amrita, for all the latest details on this. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move ahead to other political developments, because a political suspense is building around former Tamil Nadu BJP chief K. Annamalai amid intense speculation over his future. Annamalai has announced a live social media interaction at 12 noon today, where he is expected to reveal his next political move. This comes after reports that he has resigned from the BJP following meetings with the party's top leadership in Delhi. Notably, Republic was the first to report that Annamalai was preparing to quit the BJP and chart a new political course. Watch this report.
Former Tamil Nadu BJP chief K. Annamalai has set the stage for a major political announcement, scheduling a live social media interaction at 12 noon today. In a post on social media, Annamalai said he would share his thoughts and hold an open heart-to-heart conversation with the public. The announcement comes amid mounting speculation over his political future and reports that he has resigned from the BJP. Annamalai has spent the past few days in Delhi meeting senior BJP leaders, including Amit Shah and other top party functionaries. He is also believed to have conveyed his future plans to the BJP leadership during these meetings. Questions have been swirling over whether Annamalai will remain within the BJP fold or launch an independent political platform in Tamil Nadu. Republic Media Network was the first to report that Annamalai was preparing to quit the BJP and formally announce his next political move. With Tamil Nadu politics witnessing rapid realignments, all eyes are now on Annamalai's noon interaction, which could reshape the state's political landscape.
All right, viewers, now let's move on to another big breaking news development that we are getting from the international front. This is about Russian President Vladimir Putin, who is hailing India's economic progress. And Putin says that India's growth is the result of PM Modi's leadership. And Russian President Vladimir Putin says that India is one of the leading economies of the world that shows the highest rates of economic growth. And this is not something that comes out of the blue. This is a result of the hard work that the government has been doing under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So he's heaping praises on Narendra Modi, and he's also saying that they tried to pressurize, but it did not work. You cannot pressurize Narendra Modi in this case. He was talking about America in this case. All right, let's go to the development that is coming from America. That is what Donald Trump has said about Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And he also has praised Prime Minister Narendra Modi. However, in his own style, Trump claims that trade equation has now reversed. He was blaming India that they were charging us a lot of tariffs. But that was not their fault, and it was us. He was talking about the US leadership that was stupid in his own words. Now he claims now that the trade equation has now reversed. President Trump says that for years India took advantage of the United States. They charged us tremendous tariffs and paid nothing. And now it is the exact reverse, and we are making a lot of money with India. But we will get to a deal because I like your Prime Minister a lot. So these are his words, that I like your Prime Minister Modi a lot, and he is a good friend of mine and we get along well. So he's talking about the friendship, but in his own style, he reiterates his previous claims that India is charging us a lot of tariff, and Trump says that India took advantage of us for years, but now we are making a lot of money with India. Let's listen into what Donald Trump has said.
Yeah, but look, India for years has, and I don't blame them, I blame us because we had stupid people here. India for years really took advantage of the United States. You know that. Are you from India by any chance? Huh? I thought you were from Germany. I'm from India. I'm only kidding. You're central casting, okay? And that's a very good thing. India for years took advantage of this country. They charged us tremendous tariffs, and they paid nothing. They wouldn't let as an example in the past, they wouldn't let Harley Davidson sell its motor, they would charge 200% tariff. So Harley-Davidson was precluded. They ended up going to India and building their own plants, which is unfortunate that that happened, but it happens. That was before me. But they charged tremendous amounts of tariffs to our company, and we didn't charge them anything. You know, they sold motorbikes here too. You know what we charged them? Nothing. And now it's the exact reverse. And we're making a lot of money with India. But we'll get to a deal, because I like your Prime Minister a lot. He's a good friend of mine. Get along great, and we're going to make a deal. We have a very good relationship.
All right, viewers, now let's move on to another top story. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Gujarat and Daman today. He will inaugurate and lay the foundation stone for development projects valued at approximately rupees 22,000 crores. Now, these initiatives aim to strengthen infrastructure, boost tourism and create employment. The Prime Minister will also launch projects worth around rupees 18,800 crores in Surat and rupees 2,970 crores in Daman. More in this report.
From expressways to airports, from hospitals to mega infrastructure projects, PM Modi is set to unleash the development projects in Gujarat and Daman. Projects worth more than 22,000 crore rupees that will provide a push for connectivity, healthcare, industry and tourism. Today, Prime Minister Modi will embark on Gujarat and Daman visit. PM Modi will give a developmental push worth over 18,800 crore rupees to Surat across road, power and industrial sectors. Projects aimed at improving connectivity in tribal regions and enhancing access to the Statue of Unity. Later in the day, the Prime Minister will travel to Daman, where he will lay the foundation stone for development projects worth around 2,970 crore rupees. These initiatives cover sectors such as healthcare, aviation, tourism, public infrastructure and connectivity. A major attraction of the visit will be the inauguration of the new terminal building of Namo Airport and Namo Hospital, worth around 1,340 crore rupees. These projects are expected to provide a significant boost to the development of the Union Territory of Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. The Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone of projects worth 885 crore rupees for Lakshadweep, a move expected to strengthen maritime connectivity and accelerate island development.
All right, viewers, now let's move on to another big breaking news development that we're getting from Mexico, and it is about a truck explosion, a tanker truck explosion at a gas facility. Now, a massive tanker explosion has been reported in Mexico, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll show you the visuals, and these are deadly visuals, horrific visuals, scary visuals, ladies and gentlemen, on your screen in a short while, because this is a massive tanker explosion which has been reported in Mexico. A big, all right, these are the visuals. First on Republic on your screen, tanker explosion in Mexico. We'll play the video once again with the NATs, with the audio once again, ladies and gentlemen.
No mames.
All right, these are the visuals of the explosion and the scary visuals on your screen, and it's a dramatic video which was captured at the moment a gas tanker truck allegedly hauling stolen fuel, that's what we are getting to know, exploded into a massive fireball that rocked a Mexican city, ladies and gentlemen. First on Republic on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, tanker explodes in Mexico, as you can see, and this video has now gone viral. Video has now gone viral on social media too, and this is the video on your screens. First on Republic, ladies and gentlemen, a raging inferno billowing on the horizon near the town of Tepeaca when the tanker suddenly erupted into a monster fireball, sending thick black smoke pouring into the sky and flames visible inside the mushroom-shaped cloud of smoke. All right, viewers, now it's time to slip into a short commercial break, but don't go anywhere because we have a lot more lined up coming up after the break. Arnab announces live social media interaction at 12 noon today, likely to outline future political plans. Don't go anywhere.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
I want to start with some very disturbing pictures that have come in of a so-called right-wing leader. His name is Sushil Prajapati. He is accused of rape. After being in jail for 9 months, he gets bail, which means he's still an accused. He's an accused in a rape case. And the case goes back to 2025 when he took an LLB student to one place on the pretext of introducing her to a senior advocate. He drugged her drink and then he sexually assaulted her. He is still under trial for rape. He has not been released. But when he comes out, this rape accused, garlands are put on him as if he's some kind of a hero, as if he's achieved something great. Is a rapist to be celebrated, ladies and gentlemen? I ask you that question. And more than anyone else, I ask the right wing of this country. Very often I come on television and I say, yes, on several issues, I'm happy to be called a right-winger. But ladies and gentlemen, let me put it clearly. You cannot let a person like this man, this Sushil Prajapati, a leader of the Hindu Yuva
बुझाए ठंडक लाए सबको भाए जीरा से, MTH का जल जीरा जीरा से।
जीरा सिप, असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मम्मा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरी राजा,
राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
In fact, very often I believe the only way to get justice in India is a media trial. So there's no reason for the media, if it's doing a good job of a media trial, to be on the back foot. In fact, the courts should stop making these overarching remarks about media trial and contemplate about one very basic thing. With the greatest of respect to the courts, when the other institutions fail, when people get let down by the system, when even the judiciary does not seem to be listening or raising a noise about issues, like in the case of Twisha Sharma, who does the public look to for justice, for raising their voice, for bringing something that's utterly false, illegal or wrong to public attention? It is only and only the media. And today, therefore, we are doing a media trial. In this specific case, ladies and gentlemen, of Twisha Sharma, the 33-year-old daughter-in-law of an ex-judge, in a case where the ex-judge and the ex-judge's advocate's son appear to be more than involved. Ladies and gentlemen, 15 questions tonight. And if they think it's a media trial, so be it. So be it. Why did the ex-judge in the case of Twisha Sharma, neither she nor her son call a police or an ambulance? What took them 57 minutes to bring the body down? Where are the 3 men who are seen in the video dragging Twisha's body, destroying evidence? What was the police doing? Did they question the house staff? Did they question the judge? Was Twisha carrying headphones in her bag, in her hand, or a rope? Where is it now? Where is that so-called belt that cops claim was used by her to commit suicide? Why was it hidden? The mother-in-law, the ex-judge.
A very good morning. We're live and breaking. I'm Shivangi Shukla getting you the latest coming in. Now, Annamalai's exit is confirmed. It's very likely that he might leave the BJP, but a lot of questions coming up on what is Annamalai's next move. We'll get to all those details, but the headlines first. Let's get started. Massive fire engulfs residential apartment in Noida, multiple flats feared engulfed in blaze. Rescue operations are underway. Republic investigation exposes a rot in the system. 90% of BNBs working in New Delhi did not have a valid fire NOC. Annamalai announces live social media interaction at 12 p.m. today, likely to outline future political plans. DIG to skip Indi block on June 8th, meet after fallout with Congress over Tamil Nadu posts. Reserve Bank of India set to announce its June monetary policy decision today. Outcome highly anticipated amid global economic uncertainties. US President Trump hints at new US-India trade deal and says India benefited from high tariffs, but has changed now, says we'll get a trade deal done. So viewers, Annamalai's big announcement is due today itself. Suspense has been building on Annamalai's next move. And then Annamalai has announced on social media that there will be a live interaction at 12 p.m. today, where Annamalai is expected to talk about what he will do next. What are his future plans? Speculation over Annamalai's political future has intensified, with the former Tamil Nadu BJP chief expected to make a very important announcement regarding his next moves. But speculation is rife, like we were talking about earlier, that it's a big possibility, viewers, that Annamalai might exit the BJP. Now, he joined the BJP in 2020 after quitting the IPS, and he became the Tamil Nadu BJP chief in 2021. So we have put out his journey so far on your screens. You can read that. But we're waiting for more updates to come in. Noon is a time when we can expect Annamalai to go ahead and talk about his future plans. So we will be counting down to that. This is one of our top stories we're tracking here on Republic TV. And once we get more information on that, we'll of course get to you all those details, viewers. On June 2nd, Annamalai met the BJP top brass. He met Home Minister Amit Shah in New Delhi amid growing buzz over his possible resignation from the BJP, viewers. So we're waiting today itself, around 12 noon is when we can expect Annamalai to have a live interaction, social media interaction, and then he might be announcing his next moves which will be coming in extremely soon. So from what we understand so far, Annamalai will announce live on social media at 12 p.m. So the suspense is really building right now, viewers, on Annamalai's next move. So we're getting these updates coming in, and let's go straight across to the next. Getting our colleague Sharda is joining us. Sharda, coming across to you right now. Annamalai's big political announcement will happen today. So noon is when Annamalai will announce his next move. We are counting down to that. But what do we know so far? From what we understand, Annamalai could be exiting the BJP. And what about his future political plans, Sharda?
Well, Shivangi, for the past 3 days, Annamalai has been in Delhi. He's been talking to the all BJP top brass. Initially, he left Chennai amidst the rumors that he's quitting the party, and when eventually he met Nayanar Nagendran, and we can confirm that he had given a 5-page resignation to the national state president. Following that, he also met Amit Shah, and there's also question whether Annamalai is leaving the BJP or whether he's continuing to be with the BJP while starting his political movement. But information through our sources confirm that Annamalai is keen on starting this political movement in the state of Tamil Nadu, and that it is not possible to do it by being in part of the BJP. His idea is to bring the youth and professionals together with an ideology, a difference that is of against the TVK, which is Vijay's newly formed government. That also includes bringing in Hinduism, nationalism as the main ideology. So now, at 12 p.m. today, he is set to announce what his next set of plans are, especially his political future in the BJP is hanging by a thread. Whether he's in crossroads with the BJP, whether it's an amicable split, Annamalai is yet to announce. Meanwhile, he was waiting in Delhi to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This was after he met Amit Shah. The BJP party tried to hold on to Annamalai, but our sources say Annamalai is keen on splitting from the BJP to move on for his next political future movement that he's looking forward to.
Right.
And so we have to wait and watch.
So we have put out the scenarios, what we can expect next on our screens. That was running on our screens, that he might go ahead, take on Vijay, TVK. He might be going ahead and launching his grassroots level political movement. There's a lot of speculation. According to you, Sharda, what are we learning about? What are sources telling you about what could Annamalai be doing next if he goes ahead and puts down his papers?
Well, from the ground, the first set of inputs that we've got is Annamalai starting a political movement, not a political party, but a political movement that includes all the youth. He brings in grassroots level work to be done for his new party. He will be going district by district, road by road to meet the people, to meet the district representatives that who would be helping Annamalai to form a base in the state of Tamil Nadu. Following that, almost after 6 months to 1 year is when his political party will be launched, is the ground report sources saying us. So the ground report that we'll be focusing on is Annamalai going to do a campaign on the streets, where he initially did this campaign called N1 N Makkal, which was a huge success for Annamalai as the BJP president, which brought BJP much closer to people. He might be opting for the same method where he's meeting people on the roads. Every campaign will be counted for. In this case, we have to wait for Annamalai for that reason, Shivangi.
That's right. Well, I'm staying with you, Sharda, because our viewers are really interested to know how will Annamalai make those plans. And we understand that he will announce the plans on social media. Is that what is happening?
This will be a video conference that he's going to do on his social media. So it's going to be more of a social media presence and announcement through social media than meeting the media. Annamalai said he will meet the media 2 days later before he went to Delhi for a detailed, in-depth conversation of what his future plans would be. So we have to wait after this particular announcement when he's meeting the media. Annamalai is still staying in Delhi. He is not returned to Chennai. He will be in Delhi. Likely after his announcement, he will meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi, especially keeping in mind he wants an amicable split from the BJP, and that's the reason he's holding on to being in Delhi to make his final decision.
I want you to stay on with us. Getting some more news coming in when it comes to Tamil Nadu. There's a rift within the India Alliance after DMK decided not to attend the India Alliance meeting in Delhi. LOP Udayanidhi Stalin yesterday thanking the people in his constituency to vote for him and said that the Congress is a backstabber. I repeat, said the Congress is a backstabber. He states that the Congress, which took Rajya Sabha seat from DMK while coming for a pre-poll alliance with DMK, and now asked for another Rajya Sabha seat from TVK immediately after forming alliance with them. He pointed out that the DMK will never forgive Congress for its backstabbing. If we have Sharda, let's go back to Sharda, who's joining us. Sharda, this is a statement coming in. In fact, the DMK had already, even before the Congress joined hands with the TVK in Tamil Nadu, the DMK had called the Congress a backstabber, and they continue to do so.
Well, initially, the Congress was the first to lend hands to TVK right after, on May 4th, when the results were out, that the TVK was leading in numbers with 108. On 5th, Congress left the DMK alliance, did not even meet MK Stalin, the president of the DMK party, and then immediately went to the TVK forming the alliance. And that's when DMK said that Congress is a backstabbing party and that they immediately left. And if you remember, before coming into the alliance and the number of seat sharing that they had with the DMK to take over 28, they had also demanded for a Rajya Sabha seat then, and DMK had given one Rajya Sabha seat to the Congress. Now, again, fetching another Rajya Sabha seat from the TVK, saying that they would be the TVK's Delhi representative. DMK has called Congress opportunists and also said that the minute they get an opportunity to leave the DMK and form the government to take part in the ministry is when they immediately left the DMK and the Congress joined. If you remember, Congress was initially having talks with the TVK, holding talks with the TVK. Girish Shodankar said they are not underestimating Vijay, but they still go with the DMK's MK Stalin, as they thought the perspectives of the India alliance winning in the state of Tamil Nadu was high. But this time, it was a huge difference in numbers where DMK has come into opposition, so Congress immediately moved. So this statement comes from Udayanithi yesterday when he met his people in constituency to thank him. He also made multiple statements against the ruling government, TVK and Congress put together. He also claimed that TVK is a sofa business that they are doing. He indicated to when Vijay met every single leader, and then a new furnitures were placed in every office whenever he went to. He also told that the Congress, because Congress is attending the India Alliance meet in Delhi, that the DMK is refraining from doing it. Yesterday, an official statement was given by the DMK leaders that they would not be part of the India Alliance because Congress is part of it.
All right. Well, thank you, Sharda, for getting us all those details. I'll be coming back to you for more. I have to move ahead right now, viewers. Getting some more breaking news coming in. RBI will be announcing key decision on rates very soon. All eyes on the MPC meeting outcome. Commentary on inflation, GDP forecast, oil to be closely watched. RBI Governor Sanjay Malhotra's MPC speech shortly. It'll happen around 10 a.m., viewers. And markets are subdued ahead of the key decision on repo rate. I really want to go to my colleague. If we have Pranav, let's go to Pranav from our Republic business team. Pranav, the MPC is expected to keep the repo rate unchanged at 5.25%. We are still waiting for that to happen, the announcement to come in. Yes, Pranav.
Well, absolutely. In fact, the markets are subdued, just trading a little marginally higher as Governor Sanjay Malhotra is slated to make a statement at about 10 a.m. shortly from now. What are the key things to be watched out for? One is obviously the repo rate, which is one of the most important, takeaways from the RBI MPC. It is expected largely that the RBI will keep the repo rate unchanged. But what will also be very, very closely watched is the governor's commentary on inflation, GDP. In April, for example, the inflation was, at 3.48%, which is well within the RBI's limit of 2 to 4% for a short term. But, things have changed over the past few months since the West Asia conflict. So the changing oil prices, how will they affect inflation? What will the RBI do to contain that inflation? Liquidity measures, the fall of the rupee, a lot to watch for when the governor speaks today, just about 15 minutes from now.
All right. Well, thank you, Pranav, for getting us all those details. We'll be looking out for that important announcement, which will happen very, very soon. All right, viewers, Galgotia's University, in collaboration with Edith Cowan University, Australia, successfully hosted the International Conference on Comparative Law, bringing together Supreme Court judges, global legal scholars, policymakers, and legal practitioners from across India and several countries. The conference focused on comparative law, international legal frameworks, human rights, governance, technology, and emerging legal challenges in a globally connected world. Take a look.
In a significant initiative aimed at strengthening global legal education and academic collaboration, Galgotia's University recently hosted the International Conference on Comparative Law in partnership with Edith Cowan University, Australia.
Today's the inaugural function gave a lot of opportunity for me to learn about the comparative law. I wanted that the students may develop the kind of interest in this subject. So very good, very challenging and very fundamental understanding will create a lot of interest in this subject. So I hope this will generate a lot of experience.
Honorable Justice said now, you have to read now only. Once you complete your law degree, you don't get time to study. So this is like law degree, studying law degree is like a foundation. During this period, if you work hard, then once you join in provision, it will become very easy for you.
Yeah.
Then application only you have to do. Start by seeing the infrastructure. And students also every year, they are taking 5 to 7 batches. So it is a really great thing for Galgotias. It is doing very well.
I appreciate that your dean has taken initiative. There are 2 books are coming from the last year conference. So that is also outcome of research. There are a number of teachers, students were engaged, they have been asked to contribute. So that is very important. And second, I believe the more we continue to organize this kind of exercise, that will help always to develop a research culture, teaching culture in comparative aspects. So initiative taken by School of Law, Galgotia University is deeply appreciated. And I hope that it will continue for the future.
Through such initiative, Galgotia's University continues to strengthen its position as a hub for globally connected education, fostering dialogue, research, innovation, and industry-academia collaboration for the next generation of legal professionals. With a strong focus on international engagement and future-ready learning, the university remains committed to creating opportunities that prepare students for an increasingly interconnected world.
Viewers, a horrifying fire in Delhi's Malviya Nagar has exposed what many residents say is a deadly mix of negligence, corruption, and systemic failure. As flames engulfed a building packed far beyond sanctioned capacity, trapped occupants say that they were left to fend for themselves for nearly an hour. A Republic investigation now reveals how widespread violations, illegal hotel operations, and weak enforcement may have turned Delhi into a network of potential death traps. Watch Republic's editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami take on the corruption that killed 21 in the national capital.
The problem is with the word tragedy, because it is much worse than that. The problem is with the word accident, because what happened in Delhi was certainly not an accident. The problem, ladies and gentlemen, is saying 21 people dead in Delhi fire. No, ladies and gentlemen. No, ladies and gentlemen. There's only one headline for this, what happened. When you see the pictures of the people trying to desperately flee the fire, when you see someone on a rooftop trying to find a way to get away, when you see someone jumping out, when you see a body charred, we say 21 people killed in Delhi fire. No, there is only one headline for this, and that is a 2-word headline. Corruption kills. And we feel corruption will always kill someone else. No, ladies and gentlemen, corruption can kill you, me, or anyone. We can all be victims. In a way, we are all victims. But when we see an incident like what happened in Malviya Nagar in Delhi, we feel, oh, it was an accident. It was not an accident. Someone was making a lot of money illegally. Somebody was flouting the law. Somebody was allowing them to flout the law. Some Sarkari Babu was making money. Somebody was getting a hafta. The money was going up the chain. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how corruption kills. So when you see these stories, woman resting her head on a man's shoulder, holding him in embrace, both found dead in a restroom, suffocated to death in their last moments. remember corruption kills. When you hear about 8 members of the Agarwal family at the hotel to be close to their hospitalized father, remember corruption kills. When you hear about an African couple who came with hope to the hospital close by, seeking IVF treatment in the hope they would have a child, found dead in each other's arms, remember corruption kills. When you hear about Shrutika, who was supposed to join a new firm, she was on a call, maybe for that new job, and she shouted, "Help, help." Her body was found in an AIMS mortuary. Remember that corruption kills. When you hear of a young 29-year-old Iraqi national in Delhi for the treatment of his 18-year-old cousin who had a brain tumor, hoping that his cousin would get a new breath of life, both dead. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, corruption kills. Problem in our country is this: we feel this is not corruption. So Republic did a sting operation and we found a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, all rules have been broken. No rules about bed and breakfast were followed, otherwise this would not have happened. Is this not corruption? Rules say only 6 rooms were allowed, 26 rooms were operating. Was somebody in the government not getting a bribe? Corruption kills. The Delhi Fire Services data shows that over 90% of eateries, hotels in Delhi do not have or did not have a fire NOC. Do you think the government does not know? Of course they know. Do you think nobody is getting paid for it? For allowing corruption? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, corruption kills. The point I'm trying to make is it's not good enough not to have top-level corruption. If corruption is there in the lower levels of our society, the middle levels of our society, that's where 99% of corruption happens. Yes, you don't call it a big 10,000 crore scam, but it is corruption. And unless that corruption goes away, then what happened in this sort of terrible incident in Malviya Nagar will continue to happen. You have a choice today, viewers. You can look at these cases and start raising questions. Or you can call it cases of urban misgovernance. This is not misgovernance. The Upar fire tragedy was not just a fire tragedy, that was 1997. To be precise, 13 June 1997. And today, ladies and gentlemen, today is the 4th of June 2026. In 10 days, it will be 29 years since Upar. In 29 years, we learnt no lesson. 29 years back, corruption killed. 29 years later, corruption is continuing to kill. Many of you were shocked when on 27 July 2024, there was an incident in which 3 UPSC aspirants died, drowned in their coaching center in Old Rajinder Nagar in Delhi. You may remember that. You were all shocked and you said, all of these is because rules were flouted. And we all said, we will never let corruption kill again. But here we are 2 years later. Corruption has killed once again. And all we are is quiet witnesses to what is happening. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we never learn? Will all the incidents which have happened be called tragedies, accidents, and misgovernance, when we know that they are not? Will you continue to think that someone else will be the victim, when you or someone close to you can be a victim in the future? Please rise, spread the video, spread awareness, challenge the system, challenge the situation, spread the hashtag corruption kills, so it stops doing so sometime in the near future.
A tragic incident has been reported from Haryana's Faridabad, where a crane overturned at an under-construction flyover linked to the Jewar International Airport corridor. The crane reportedly collapsed during adverse weather conditions, trapping workers inside a container below. Take a look at this report as we tell you about the rescue and relief operations.
A major accident took place at the under-construction Jewar Airport flyover project near Panhera Khurd in Faridabad. A heavy crane reportedly overturned during construction work amid stormy weather conditions, crashing onto a container at the site. SDRF teams, police personnel launched an immediate rescue operation to pull out those trapped beneath the debris. One worker was rescued alive, but 3 other laborers trapped inside the container could not be saved.
आंधी के दौरान ना ये क्रेन पलट चुकी थी। अभी फिलहाल में तो हम देख रहे हैं, फिलहाल तो 2 आदमी निकल चुके हैं। अभी एक भाई अभी ऐसे बैठा हुआ अभी क्रेन काट रहे हुए बक्से को।
कितने आदमी थे?
कम से कम 5-6 आदमी थे।
5-6 आदमी
अभी 2 निकाल लिए, 3-4 हो गए।
कितने बजे की घटना है?
ये 2:30 बजे 3 बजे करीब।
Authorities have begun an investigation into the circumstances leading to the crane collapse at the construction site.
And viewers, taking a short break. Do not go anywhere. Around noon today, Arnab would be announcing his next moves live on social media, likely to outline his future political plans. Stay tuned.
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
AU करंट अकाउंट के साथ मिलता है फ्री UPI QR ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी और एक ही ऐप से बैंक के सारे काम। AU
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ स्वाद आया? आया।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
जब तक लाजवाब न बन जाए उसे नहीं इत्मीनान है। तभी तो रिचमैन बनना नहीं आसान है।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
I want to start with some very disturbing pictures that have come in of a so-called right-wing leader. His name is Sushil Prajapati. He is accused of rape. After being in jail for 9 months, he gets bail, which means he's still an accused. He's an accused in a rape case. And the case goes back to 2025 when he took an LLB student to one place on the pretext of introducing her to a senior advocate. He drugged her drink and then he sexually assaulted her. He is still under trial for rape. He has not been released. But when he comes out, this rape accused, garlands are put on him as if he's some kind of a hero, as if he's achieved something great. Is a rapist to be celebrated, ladies and gentlemen? I ask you that question. And more than anyone else, I ask the right wing of this country. Very often I come on television and I say, yes, on several issues, I'm happy to be called a right-winger. But ladies and gentlemen, let me put it clearly. You cannot let a person like this man, this Sushil Prajapati, a leader of the Hindu Yuva Vahini, a local thug, a man accused of rape, you cannot...
प्यास बुझाए, ठंडक लाए, सबको भाए जीरा से। MTH का जलजीरा जीरा से।
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
MTH।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरी राजा।
In fact, very often I believe the only way to get justice in India is a media trial. So there's no reason for the media, if it's doing a good job of a media trial, to be on the back foot. In fact, the courts should stop making these overarching remarks about media trial and contemplate about one very basic thing. With the greatest of respect to the courts, when the other institutions fail, when people get let down by the system, when even the judiciary does not seem to be listening or raising a noise about issues, like in the case of Twisha Sharma, Who does the public look to for justice, for raising their voice, for bringing something that's utterly false, illegal or wrong to public attention? It is only and only the media. And today, therefore, we are doing a media trial in this specific case, ladies and gentlemen, of Twisha Sharma, the 33-year-old daughter-in-law of an ex-judge, in a case where the ex-judge and the ex-judge's advocate's son appear to be more than involved.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
A very good morning. You're watching Live and Breaking on Republic. I'm Chongtham Amrita. And in a big major political shift in Tamil Nadu, KNMLI is set to announce a new movement soon, as he has asked his supporters to tune in his live broadcast on a social media handle X, and a live interaction, and experts are reading it as a major announcement or a new movement coming in from KNMLI, as there are reports of him breaking away from the BJP. We'll get all the details on this story, but first take a look at the headlines. Massive fire engulfs residential apartment in Noida. Multiple flats feared engulfed in blaze. Republic investigation exposes the rot in the system. 90% of the BNBs working in New Delhi did not have a valid fire NOC. Annamalai announces live social media interaction at 12 p.m. today, likely to outline future political plans. DMK to skip INDI blog on June 8 meet after fallout with Congress over Tamil Nadu polls. The Reserve Bank of India set to announce its June monetary policy decision today, outcome highly anticipated amid global economic uncertainties. US President Donald Trump hints at new US-India trade deal, says India benefited from high tariffs but has changed now, says we'll get a new trade deal done. Viewers, a major announcement is expected as the RBI is set to announce the monetary policy today. Key decisions on rates will be announced. All eyes are on the Monetary Policy Committee's announcement today. Now, this will be taking place very shortly from now, as the RBI officials have convened for a meeting at Mumbai. And now the outcome will be affecting the economy, and also a commentary is expected on the inflation. The GDP forecast is also expected in the announcement, the speech to be given by the RBI governor. And regarding statements on oil, it will be also covered. These are some of the latest that we're tracking, as RBI is set to announce a market-related and inflation and GDP forecast in the announcement of the Monetary Policy Committee review meeting. This is coming amid the West
disruptions to key trade routes and supply chains, increased market volatility, and cautious business sentiment. Let me at the very outset emphasize that the Indian economy entered this episode of global turbulence with much better fundamentals than in previous similar episodes. We remain confident to withstand these shocks with minimum pain. Nevertheless, it is important to not only confront and address these challenges, but also at the same time take this as an opportunity to further enhance our resilience. Global economic outlook remains clouded by the continuing geopolitical impasse in West Asia, as sharply escalating energy prices and global supply chain disruptions continue to hinder economic activity. Faced with difficult trade-offs, monetary policy has turned more cautious. Major advanced economy central banks are likely to pivot towards monetary policy tightening. While equity markets remain buoyant, driven by AI-fueled optimism, global bond markets remain bearish amidst renewed inflation fears and continuing debt sustainability concerns. Risk-off sentiments and safe haven demand are imparting volatility to forex markets, with a depreciating trend in many EME currencies. In this backdrop, the Monetary Policy Committee met on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of this month to deliberate and decide on the policy repo rate. After a detailed assessment of the evolving macroeconomic and financial developments and the outlook, the MPC voted unanimously to keep the policy repo rate under the LAF unchanged at 5.25%. Consequently, the STF rate remains at 5% and the MSF rate and the bank rate at 5.5%. The MPC also decided to continue with the neutral stance. I shall now briefly set out the rationale for the decisions of the MPC. The committee noted that the global environment has deteriorated since the last policy meeting in April, with the conflict lingering amidst a fragile truce. The adverse implications of the extended disruption in supply chains and elevated energy prices are reflected in the moderation of growth and increase in inflation projections from the April policy, and I'll come to these a little later. CPI inflation remains below the target despite global shock, as the pass-through to domestic prices has been limited, while the baseline projections point towards headline inflation firming up towards the upper tolerance level in Q3 this year. The impact of the supply shock is expected to wane Q4 onwards. The underlying inflation pressures continue to remain benign at this juncture. However, generalization of inflation through second round effects on expectations and wages is a distinct possibility warranting a close vigil. The outlook also remains clouded due to the subnormal southwest monsoon forecast and El Nino risks. As for growth, the MPC noted that elevated energy prices coupled with global supply constraints are having adverse spillovers on economic activity. While domestic demand remains resilient and manufacturing and services sectors activity continue to expand, there are incipient signs of moderation in some sectors as suggested by high-frequency indicators. The MPC was of the opinion that there are considerable risks to the baseline assessment of inflation and growth, which I'm going to present shortly, due to the uncertainty about the duration and intensity of the conflict, magnitude of its spillover effects, and the pace of restoration of supply chains. Additionally, the food outlook too remains uncertain on account of subnormal southwest monsoon forecast and El Nino. Although risks of higher inflation have amplified, the MPC felt it would be prudent to wait for greater clarity to emerge. Accordingly, the MPC voted to keep the policy repo rate unchanged. At the same time, the MPC will continue to remain data dependent and closely monitor the developments, including supply side pressures getting embedded in the general price level and inflation expectations. As mentioned, the MPC also decided to retain the neutral stance. I now come to the assessment of growth and inflation. First of all, growth. The second advanced estimates released by NSO placed India's GDP growth for last year at 7.6%. This is owing to strong expansion in private consumption as well as fixed investment. Robust performance of manufacturing and services sectors were the growth drivers from the supply side. As per several high-frequency indicators, domestic economic activity remained largely steady even since the outbreak of the conflict. India's manufacturing and services PMI further suggests that both sectors continue to be resilient and business expectations are still positive. On the demand side, private consumption aided by discretionary spending has remained resilient. Despite cost pressures, merchandise exports recorded strong growth in April this year. This is notwithstanding elevated freight and insurance costs. Services exports are also holding up well, reflecting sustained demand despite concerns about AI. Overall, the economic situation has broadly exhibited resilience and withstood the conflict spillovers, although the impact of cost pressures is becoming visible. Going ahead, the rise in prices of energy and other inputs, coupled with supply disruptions, is likely to weigh on economic activity. While import diversification in affected commodities is likely to improve supply, it would still come at a higher cost. The full impact, however, will depend on the duration of the conflict, the time taken for normalization of supply chains, and the burden-sharing approach among the various stakeholders. The pass-through of higher energy prices to retail products is also becoming evident. Additionally, the projected deficiency in the southwest monsoon will have implications for agriculture production and rural demand. However, the programs and initiatives for crop diversification, water harvesting and conservation, climate-resilient practices and short-duration crops, among others, are expected to mitigate the impact. Sustained momentum in services, continuing impact of GST rationalization, and broadly stable employment conditions should continue to support urban consumption, even though rising inflation could be a drag on the purchasing power of households. Government capex is expected to remain robust, while the elevated capacity utilization and sustained credit flows from bank as well as non-bank sources are supportive of corporate investment. Cost escalation and heightened uncertainty could, however, dampen investor sentiment. Weak global demand and high logistic costs are also headwinds for merchandise exports. Services exports, on the other hand, are expected to sustain their momentum as demand for Indian services remain healthy. Several measures undertaken by the government, including support to MSME and export sectors, efforts to ramp up domestic gas and crude production, encouraging use of domestically produced alternatives to imported inputs, and diversification of critical imports should help cope up with the external shock. Taking all these factors into consideration, real GDP growth for this year is now projected at 6.6%. We had earlier projected 6.9%, of course, with huge uncertainty and downside risks, with Q1 now projected at 6.6%, Q2 at 6.3%, Q3 at 6.5%, and Q4 at 6.8%. Prolonged global supply chain disruptions, volatility in global financial markets, and weather-related shocks continue to pose downside risks to the domestic growth outlook. I will now talk about our inflation assessment and outlook. Although firming up marginally from 3.2% in February, headline CPI inflation was below the target during both March and April this year. In fact, 3.4% and 3.5% respectively. While food inflation edged up, fuel inflation remained muted as retail prices of petrol and diesel were unchanged in March and April. Core inflation remained stable at 3.7% during March and April. Excluding precious metals, core inflation was much lower at about 2.1 to 2.2% during this same period. International crude oil prices, the Indian basket, have averaged around $110 per barrel during the last 2 months. And indications are that the average oil prices for this year would be substantially higher than what were assumed during the last policy. You may recall that in the last policy, we had assumed crude oil prices to average for this year at $85 per barrel. Higher energy prices and an increase in several input prices also led to a sharp spike in WPI inflation in April. It was more than 8%. Turning to the inflation outlook, the partial pass-through of high global crude oil prices to domestic pump prices of petrol and diesel started in May. Prices of several inputs such as commercial LPG, industrial raw materials, chemicals, base metals, rubber, and plastic products, among others, have increased. These could exert upward pressure on CPI inflation in the coming months as firms pass on these higher input costs. Considering all these factors, CPI inflation for this year now is projected to be at 5.1%, about 50 basis points more than earlier projected, with Q1 at 4.2%, Q2 at 5.1%, Q3 at 5.9%, and Q4 at 5.4%. Core inflation is projected at 4.7% for this year. These forecasts, I may mention, are subject to upside risks due to heightened uncertainty because of a variety of reasons, global supply chain disruptions, global commodity price shocks, uncertainty about the spatial and temporal
Right, that's the RBI governor addressing after the 3-day meeting of the Monetary Policy Committee, and have kept the repo rate unchanged at 5.25%, maintaining a neutral stance. And now I'm joined by Republic Business Editor Arnab to give us more details on and the breakdown of the RBI governor's full speech. A very good morning to you, and thank you for joining us on this broadcast, Pranav. The governor has, in fact, stated many other aspects, including inflation, GDP growth rate, and also the repo rate remained unchanged. But I'll start with the repo rate remaining unchanged, keeping it at a neutral stance, as the RBI governor has stated. And what would that impact look like in Indian economy?
So yes, repo rate is, of course, one of the first important takeaways from the meeting. That's the most closely watched and the most widely speculated. He's kept it unchanged at 5.25. Unanimously, the 6-member MPC has decided to keep the repo rate unchanged. That is precisely what was actually expected. So the RBI outcome is on the lines of expectations. Now, they have maintained a neutral stance, but at the same time, there are several other factors that the RBI governor highlighted during its speech. I'm just going to go go through them one by one. One, he said that the Indian economy is resilient enough, and he expressed confidence that the shocks will be absorbed with minimum pain. He said that the Indian economy is ready to confront challenges. But, however, he highlighted that the economic outlook completely remains clouded. There is a decrease in the economic activity, a cautious and a caution ahead because of the ongoing conflict in South, in the Middle East. Equity markets, he said, continue to be volatile. Currency markets are volatile, and bond markets, on the other hand, are bearish. The macroeconomic outlook for the globe remains clouded. That is because of the rising oil prices. So yes, he's highlighted several inflationary pressures. While the another important takeaway from the meeting is, of course, the revised growth estimates. If you remember, while noting that in 2026, FY26, the growth was 7.6%, the FY26 growth projections have been trimmed to 6.6%, citing consumer price inflation, rising economic, the rising inflation because of oil prices. The baseline inflation is likely to reach upper tolerance limit. Remember, the RBI's upper tolerance limit for the short term is between 2 to 4%. So when he's saying that CPI is likely to touch the upper tolerance limit, we will actually wait and see as to how the aftermath or the increase in oil prices and the global outlook impacts the Indian economy in the current year. Inflation outlook has also been revised to 5.4%. So he is expecting, the MPC is in fact expecting that the impacts of oil prices, the impact of West Asia conflict, and as well as monsoon, which affects the food prices, are likely to affect the Indian economy in the coming months. So yes, a lot of takeaways. We will be watching it very, very closely, because he will be addressing a press conference at 12 o'clock, delving deeper into each of the aspects that the MPC discussed over the 3-day meeting.
Right, and also, Pranav, how would that interpret and materialize into how India's growth is going, as he has also said that India's growth will be projected at 6.6%, the real GDP as 6.8% after the earlier projections of the 6.9%, and also mentioned on how the global uncertainties will continue to impact inflation by putting the focus on the fuel prices and also the weather changes also. So how would that look like in the Q3 and Q4 projections for India's growth?
Well, as far as FY27 is concerned, the growth projection has been trimmed from 6.9% to 6.6%. So that is already a significant step down from the fact that the growth projections, which were already placed at about 6.9%, they are likely to be revised to 6.6%. So that's already a revision as far as the global the global economic conditions are concerned. But beyond that, we are expecting subdued monsoon. Beyond that, we are expecting headline inflation to be affecting because of increased oil prices, and that is precisely what is likely to play as far as the Indian economy is concerned.
That's right. Thank you so much for joining us, Pranav, and for breaking down the whole MPC policy and the repo rates remaining unchanged and the look on India's economy. Thank you so much. And now, viewers, we are taking a very short break, but we'll be right back and continue tracking more developing stories as KNMLI will be announcing live on social media an interaction with his supporters at around 12 p.m. today, likely to outline future political plans. Coming up next, stay tuned.
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने।
मनी 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 एवरी मंथ। सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
I want to start with some very disturbing pictures that have come in of a so-called right-wing leader. His name is Sushil Prajapati. He is accused of rape. After being in jail for 9 months, he gets bail, which means he's still an accused. He's an accused in a rape case. And the case goes back to 2025 when he took an LLB student to one place on the pretext of introducing her to a senior advocate. He drugged her drink and then he sexually assaulted her. He is still under trial for rape. He has not been released. But when he comes out, this rape accused, garlands are put on him as if he's some kind of a hero, as if he's achieved something great. Is a rapist to be celebrated, ladies and gentlemen? I ask you that question. And more than anyone else, I ask the right wing of this country. Very often I come on television and I say, yes, on several issues, I'm happy to be called a right-winger. But ladies and gentlemen, let me put it clearly. You cannot let a person like this man, this Sushil Prajapati, a leader of the Hindu Yuva Vahini, a local thug, a man accused of rape, you cannot celebrate his act of rape or celebrate the fact that the rapist is out on bail. If that is the message we want to send to our society, and if all the BJP leaders want to be quiet about it, I want to ask them, why are they quiet about this? Why are they quiet? In the silence of the BJP leaders, is there a tacit support to this person? Is there a feeling that anyone who wears or puts a, proclaims that he is from a so-called Hindu organization, that he will be allowed to get away with absolutely everything, including an act of rape? Is there a feeling that this man, do right-wingers feel, this man, this accused rapist is one of our own? So hence, regardless of what happens, one of our own should never be accused. It's like all those people, those radical Islamists who say that as long as the act of murder or crime of terrorism is carried out by a Muslim, it must be defended. This very thought, ladies and gentlemen, is completely unacceptable. And we need to make the point more strongly because it's not the first time this has happened. This happened in the case of Bilkis Bano. When in Gujarat, the rapists of Bilkis Bano came out, they were greeted with tikas and sweets. And it was happening openly. This was an act of defiance. A manner of saying, so what? It is a Hindu who carried out the act of rape and hence we will celebrate him, we will forgive the person. Ladies and gentlemen, we are nobody to forgive, and the last thing we should do is celebrate rapists. This was a shameful moment then, this is a shameful moment now. Sengar was another shameful moment when some people said, oh, Sengar is from the BJP and hence he can be seen smiling after carrying out the act of rape, and people would celebrate him and say, no, our leader can do no wrong. That was another shameful moment for the right wing. And ladies and gentlemen, Jayant Sinha, remember, son of Yashwant Sinha, stood there, ladies and gentlemen, and garlanded people accused of lynching. And he had come to my studio and I had told him, Jayant, I think you should be ashamed of what you've done. Because for all the good you will do in your political career, this moment will be the black spot on your career. And therefore, my point is to those who call themselves right-wingers. You cannot be right-wingers, say you're fighting for the right and be supporting lynchers and rapists at the same time. You cannot have this attitude that if you are pro-Hindu, then if someone who is a Hindu or from a Hindu organization commits the most ghastly crime, you will say it's all right because he claims membership of a Hindu organization. Why doesn't the Hindu Yuva Vahini sack and throw out Sushil Prajapati? Why can't they take a stand on issues such as this? Food for thought. Food for thought, ladies and gentlemen, not just for the people who are doing this, but for all of us. In fact, very often I believe the only way to get justice in India is a media trial. So there's no reason for the media, if it's doing a good job of a media trial, to be on the back foot. In fact, the courts should stop making these overarching remarks about media trial and contemplate about one very basic thing. With a
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
In fact, very often I believe the only way to get justice in India is a media trial. So there's no reason for the media, if it's doing a good job of a media trial, to be on the back foot. In fact, the courts should stop making these overarching remarks about media trial and contemplate about one very basic thing. With the greatest of respect to the courts, when the other institutions fail, when people get let down by the system, when even the judiciary does not seem to be listening or raising a noise about issues, like in the case of Twisha Sharma, who does the public look to for justice, for raising their voice, for bringing something that's utterly false, illegal or wrong to public attention? It is only and only the media. And today, therefore, we are doing a media trial in this specific case, ladies and gentlemen, of Twisha Sharma, the 33-year-old daughter-in-law of an ex-judge, in a case where the ex-judge and the ex-judge's advocate's son appear to be more than involved. Ladies and gentlemen, 15 questions tonight. And if they think it's a media trial, so be it. So be it. Why did the ex-judge in the case of Twisha Sharma, neither she nor her son call a police or an ambulance? What took them 57 minutes to bring the body down? Where are the 3 men who are seen in the video dragging Twisha's body, destroying evidence? What was the police doing? Did they question the house staff? Did they question the judge? Was Twisha carrying headphones in her bag, in her hand, or a rope? Where is it now? Where is that so-called belt that cops claim was used by her to commit suicide?
Republic investigation exposes a rot in the system. 90% of the BNBs working in New Delhi did not have a valid fire NOC. Annamalai announces live social media interaction at 12 p.m. today, likely to outline future political plans. DMK to escape in the bloc meeting on June 8th after fallout with Congress over Tamil Nadu elections. Big Joe to DK's cabinet in Karnataka. Minister Ramalinga Reddy resigns within 3 days of swearing in. RBI announces policy repo rate unchanged, also trims the GDP growth rate. Real GDP growth now projected at 6.6%. Hello and welcome viewers. You're watching Live and Breaking on Republic TV with me, Ishita Mitra, and our top focus, what's happening in Karnataka now in a big jolt to DK's cabinet in the state. Minister Ramalinga Reddy has now resigned just within 3 days of swearing in. Now, Minister in fact has tendered his resignation to DK Shiv Kumar, expressing strong dissatisfaction over his allocated portfolio. Now, in fact, Reddy go on to say that Chief Minister DK Shiv Kumar had done a U-turn on an earlier assurance given to him regarding Bengaluru development portfolio, which he claimed was promised to him in 2023 with an understanding that once DK Shiv Kumar becomes the Chief Minister, this portfolio will be given to Ramalinga Reddy after 2.5 years. So it seems like there was some promise, some arrangement made earlier between the two leaders about 2.5 years back. It was contingent on the fact that once DK becomes the Chief Minister, this portfolio will be given to Ramalinga Reddy. However, it seems that DK did not held on to his promise, now leading to Ramalinga's resignation. In fact, my colleague Abhishek also joins me with more details on this. Abhishek, few days DK Shivkumar's tenure has begun and it seems like internal discord is already appearing in the cabinet. Now, Ramalinga Reddy, in fact, has resigned, saying that he's not satisfied with the portfolio allocated to him. Decode it for us, what exactly is happening as far as this feud is concerned?
It's not even 48 hours after DK Shivkumar took over the government as the chief minister, and along with him another 12 more ministers took oath on the same day. That was on June 3rd at around 4 and 4:45. Now it is the turn of Ramalinga Reddy, the senior most minister in the cabinet of DK Shivkumar. In fact, he has been elected more than 8 times as the MLA of various other constituencies in Bengaluru, and he is representing the BTM layout constituency now, who had also held various other portfolios in the last couple of years. He was the transport minister, he was the Muzerai minister, he was the home minister, he was the education minister at one point of time, he was the food and civil supplies minister as well. So at this point of time, it was believed, and he had on record and off the record on various other occasions had mentioned the fact that when the government came into force on 2023, in 2023, Siddaramaiah had mentioned the fact that Ramalinga Reddy will be given the post of Bengaluru Development Minister. However, it was DK Shivkumar and DK Suresh who had convinced Ramalinga Reddy that they will be taking over, especially DK Shivkumar will be taking over the portfolio of Bengaluru Development. And after DK Shivkumar gets elevated as the chief minister, the portfolio will be given to Ramalinga Reddy. So this was the arrangement which had happened between DK Shivkumar and Ramalinga Reddy, is what Ramalinga Reddy had mentioned to the media on various other occasions in the last couple of years. However, after 3 years of the tenure of the government, it was on last 2 days ago when DK Shivkumar took over as the chief minister, and Ramalinga Reddy was very keen on taking up the position as Bengaluru Development Minister. However, the last minute changes, this might be because of the last minute changes in the political scenario, that the portfolio had been allotted to Krishna Bairegowda, who was the revenue minister in Siddaramaiah's cabinet. And this point of time, there was a rumor that Ramalinga Reddy might resign yesterday itself. But today morning, Ramalinga Reddy has convened a press meet, and he has mentioned the fact that he is unhappy of whatever is happening, and he has also obliged the party for giving him an opportunity to serve as the minister, and he is unwilling to continue as the minister against his conscience. We have also seen DK Shivkumar, who's commented to the media, stating that he will be convincing Ramalinga Reddy. Abhishek Dutt, who is also a part of a Congress High Command, has already reached out to Ramalinga Reddy's office to convince him to continue with the ministership, and also we will have to see what might happen or what might unfold in the next couple of hours.
All right, so if you look at this feud that has now come in with the exit of Ramalinga Reddy, do you think it has reached a point of no return, or do you think meddling can bring him back into the fold?
The only choice which is left in front of DK Shivkumar, who is the current chief minister, is convincing Ramalinga Reddy by assuring or by keeping up the promise of providing him with the Bengaluru development portfolio. If at all DK Shivkumar doesn't proceed with reallocating the portfolio of Bengaluru development to Ramalinga Reddy, this might be a dead end, because Ramalinga Reddy has held various other positions in the last couple of Congress governments, and he very clearly mentions in the letter stating that he will continue only in the capacity of the MLA if Bengaluru development portfolio isn't given. So the letter very clearly mentions that he is thankful for the government, he is thankful for the High Command and the party for giving him an opportunity, but he cannot go against his conscience. What is this conscience is the point of question which has to be answered by DK Shivkumar and the KPCC president. As of now, the arrangement was very clear between DK Shivkumar and Ramalinga Reddy, but at this point of time, we will have to see if DK Shivkumar will be convincing Ramalinga Reddy to continue with whatever portfolio he has been allotted, or will he accept the resignation of his fellow colleague and make way for Krishna Bairegowda, or will the High Command have to intervene in between DK Shivkumar and Ramalinga Reddy to set things back? This is a wait and watch game.
And I think Abhishek, DKS, it's him who understands the importance of keeping one's promise, given the kind of conditions that have in fact led to his elevation in the state. So I think he understands the importance of keeping one's word, and we'll of course have to see how this pans out with Ramalinga Reddy's exit in this case. Thank you so much. Now, viewers, all eyes are on the big announcement which is yet to be made by Annamalai today. Now, as suspense builds up on Annamalai's next move, He will, in fact, be holding a live social media interaction at about 12 noon today. He's likely to outline his future political plans. There are already speculations are growing over Annamalai's political future plans. In fact, this comes as there were rumors that he may exit the BJP bloc and may likely take an independent political pathway ahead, starting with a political movement first, which could later on become a regional party to take on a TVK's Vijay. Now, these are all speculations, all kind of rumors, in fact, going around as far as Annamalai's political move is concerned. Now, what happens will, of course, be announced by the leader himself at about 12 noon, which is when he will be interacting with media at large. Now, this comes right after his visit to Delhi. He interacted with BJP's top brass. He met Home Minister Amit Shah. He met the General Secretary of the party, the President of the party, Nitin Abeen. He held cordial meetings with them. There were discussions about BJP's political future in Tamil Nadu, and following those hectic parleys in the capital city, he is now back in the state and will in fact be interacting live at about 12 noon today. So all eyes are on his next political move. Will he stay back in the BJP? Will he reclaim his old position, consolidate his base within the party? Or, in fact, will he lead on to have an independent political path in this case? My colleague Amrita also joins me with more details on this. Amrita, suspense only seems to be growing because we have been covering this for days now. What will be Annamalai's next move? So all eyes are now on 12 noon when he will be making the big announcement.
That's right, Ishita. All eyes are in fact on Annamalai's next move. On what could he possibly announce at a 12 p.m. interaction that he has slated for 12 noon today on his social media. Earlier, we had reports that he is launching a new movement, a sort of a movement that will mobilize all grassroots individuals, like-minded individuals, and nurture them into political leaders. And he said, as per reports, he said this is not going to be a big political party. But as per Republic's Big Scoop, we have found the report that Annamalai is moving towards forming a new party. First starting a new movement where he gathers like-minded individuals and then move towards a political party in 6 months that will reflect regional aspirations. And this an interaction that is slated for 12 noon today, this is not a simple interaction because earlier we had the reports that he will be majorly active in social media campaigns. So basically, he is still going to launch a big social media presence. And this will be regarding if it is a political announcement or a new movement, but we know that he is making a big launch today and making a presence in social media, and more of his footprint will be reflected on social media campaign. And there are various scenarios. One that we can expect is he will announce a new movement, and as independent from the BJP or any other alliance, independent of that, a new movement where he will mobilize like-minded individuals and increase his social media presence. There's also another scenario that could happen. He will stick with the BJP and reorganize the party from within and still remain as the poster boy for the BJP because he has a lot of following as while he was the chief of the BJP chief in the state. He had a lot of following, a big support as well, and he may be sticking with the BJP and reorganizing the organization, the party. And there's also another scenario that may emerge that he completely breaks ranks with the BJP and forms a new political party as well. So these are some of the scenarios that could happen, but we are still looking forward to what could this social media interaction, but this is very much hinting towards a big launch of a new party that could lead to a new party, a new movement that's purely focused on social media campaign and also impacting the regional aspirations. Ishita.
Right. In fact, it seems that, he has, resigned from BJP. There are reports coming up highlighting that he's officially exited the bloc. Of course, we'll try and confirm that with our reporter on Republic TV. But, if you look at his exit and if it's confirmed, so what is that we know about his new political movement? Now, we understand that this could later on become a regional political outfit to take on Vijay's TVK because there is ample space in Tamil Nadu politics, it seems, for an alternative to Dravidian politics. Now, there was vacuum. Vijay was smart enough to catch on to that. The question is, will Annamalai also catch up in that race now?
That's right, and I think, and with this positioning of Annamalai as the direct opposition and a challenger to the TVK is very appropriate now. We don't know if it's going to be BJP's B plan or is this predicted from before, but now with this political shift happening in Tamil Nadu and the AIA-DMK fallout with the BJP alliance and losing severely in the elections, that has maybe made them rethink their options now with Annamalai's presence in the AIA-DMK or the BJP alliance as their B plan maybe, then Annamalai could in fact mobilize a lot of their supporters there and could even, there is another seat up for contest for the by-elections that was given up by the Chief Minister TVK Vijay. So that seat could also be contested. So there are many things that could happen, and Annamalai is now emerging as that particular phase that the regional aspirations still cling to, and they still have the familiarity with his faces on the ground as well. So he is emerging as one of those political faces that have many supporters on the ground, and also a little deflection from the original old Dravidian old bloc that the DMK and the AIA-DMK
Amrita, we're
had.
getting some breaking news at this hour that it has been officially confirmed that Annamalai has resigned from Bharatiya Janata Party. In fact, we've got the letter also. We'll try and show it to our viewers that Annamalai has now resigned officially from Bharatiya Janata Party. In fact, I have the resignation letter with me, and it says the National President of Bharatiya Janata Party, Nitin Abeen, has accepted the resignation submitted by the Tamil ex-state president K. Annamalai from primary membership of the party. So it is official now. Republic is breaking it right now that BJP's President Nitin Abeen has accepted Annamalai's resignation, which means officially Annamalai has now parted its ways from Bharatiya Janata Party. In fact, my colleague Sharda also joins with more details on this. Sharda, you were the first one to break this a while ago, in fact, that the exit has been confirmed, that the paperwork was still left, and now the paperwork also seems to be done. Nitin Abeen, the official president of Bharatiya Janata Party, has now accepted Annamalai's resignation. Give us more details on this.
Well, Amrita, as you just saw, Annamalai has resigned from the party and the party has accepted his resignation. As we said first on Republic, 4 days before, Annamalai has tendered his resignation with a 5-page copy to the national president Nitin Abeen, and his resignation has now been accepted in the letter. It's been clearly stated why Annamalai has resigned. The information also is coming from trusted sources in the BJP that Annamalai will be announcing what his next stance is. So in the press release given by the BJP National General Secretary Arun Singh mentions that Nitin Abeen has accepted the resignation submitted by Tamil Nadu State former President K. Annamalai for his primary membership from the party. So this proves that Annamalai is leading the BJP now for sure shot. His plan next is to launch a political movement which will further develop into a political party in the next 6 months to 1 year.
Right, in fact, and what we know about his next political move. Now, we understand he's all set to make an announcement in just a short while from now at about 12 noon, which is when he could be announcing what is next for him as far as politics in Tamil Nadu is concerned.
Well, Annamalai's next step in politics will involve him launching his political movement and then his political party, which will focus on bringing the youth and professionals of the Tamil Nadu state together with the same ideology. Keeping in mind the DMK, the AIA-DMK have the same Dravidian ideology. TVK, we did not have any ideology in process, now following the footsteps of the DMK as well. So in this case, we can see Annamalai's party will have a different ideology from that of the Dravidianism in this state, and will give a lot of openings on Hinduism, the inclusions of how a nationalist movement will also be brought into place through Annamalai's ideology. As we saw, the DMK, the TVK have all been going against Sanatana Dharma, but Annamalai is a person who supports Sanatana Dharma, the Hindu religion, says all religions are equal. He's the one who follows that path. He's constantly been telling how secular he is, so we will be following on that political movement that Annamalai will be launching just in few minutes, around 12 noon today. Annamalai is going to be publicly speaking through social media to all the public and the media, pointing out why he exited from the BJP, explaining what caused the exit. If we go in depth, it's all going to be about why the AIA-DMK, the BJP, came into alliance for the 2026 elections, which gave a lot of pressure to the BJP in the party as well. And Annamalai has pointed out that the AIADMK did not secure enough votes this time, which is also given a big drawback for the BJP in the state.
Right. In fact, if we talk about the rift with BJP, it was long in the making. We had seen he wasn't happy with the kind of alliance that BJP got into with AIADMK. He was not happy with the implementation of a three-language CBSE policy. And we had seen, his role being continuously declining as far as elections in Tamil Nadu is concerned. He stepped down from his election in charge duties of about 6 constituencies. Before that, he was taken off as BJP president itself. So we have seen, it was a long in the making, which has now been confirmed that officially Annamalai has parted ways with Bharatiya Janata Party.
Well, very true, as you just mentioned. The rift between the BJP leadership and Annamalai has been evident for almost a year now after the AIADMK came into the alliance with the BJP. The AIADMK leader was not very happy with Annamalai leading the party in the state, and he had to step down, and Naina Nagendran took over. So this was the first step to sideline Annamalai by the BJP. Following that, even in the campaigns that was run across the state, Annamalai was present mostly in Puducherry and Kerala than in Tamil Nadu, which shows that his campaign in other states were more important for the BJP. He acted as a normal BJP cadre, a BJP star campaigner for others, but he refused to even contest in the elections, knowing that the 27 seats given to the BJP were very weak and that they would not secure any winning position there. This was also something he conveyed to Piyush Goyal, the election in charge of the state, who had asked him to contest, for which his explanation was that he cannot contest because the AIADMK has given seats to the BJP where they will not win. So he's been constantly telling that the alliance will not work in the state of Tamil Nadu. Despite that, the BJP going for an India alliance with the AIADMK was a big drawback to the BJP party in itself. And apart from sidelining Annamalai, multiple other candidates who were not known in the BJP factor did contest, which gave them a huge loss, giving from 11% to 3% is what the BJP has scored in the 2026 elections. Now, Annamalai has resigned from the BJP officially, and Nitin Navan has accepted his resignation today, 12 o'clock. Annamalai will be launching his first answers for the same reason as to what caused the action, and also explaining as to what his political movement will be bringing to the state of Tamil Nadu.
Now, Shada, from the outset, it does look like a cordial exit. That doesn't look like, a sour breakup. In fact, I'll come back to you for more details on this. I'm also being joined by Amrita on this. Now, we've accessed the resignation that's been accepted by BJP's President Nitin Navan. Now, Amrita, we broke this news 5 days ago that Annamalai has given his resignation, and now it's been confirmed that BJP President has accepted, and it's official that Annamalai has parted ways with BJP.
Right, Ishita. In fact, Republic was the first to break, and that has been confirmed now after the BJP National Secretary has accepted his resignation. 5 days ago, Annamalai visited and met the National President, Nitin Navan, and where he submitted his resignation. That's what happened, and Republic was the first to break that news that Annamalai, in fact, resigned from the BJP, and now Republic has accessed the resignation confirmation letter. This is from the National Secretary, the BJP National Secretary, and this is the resignation letter acceptance saying that Annamalai has in fact been removed from the primary membership of the BJP, confirming that what Republic has been saying all along, the first network to break, that Annamalai has in fact resigned from the BJP and is now looking on to move towards a new political party. So that can be expected. The social media interaction that's slated for 12 noon today is positively going to be the announcement of his breakaway from the BJP and also the announcement of launching a new political party. So that is certain coming in from Annamalai, because this is the big announcement that we are looking forward to today. Ishita.
Right, of course, all eyes are now on the 12 p.m. announcement that's going to come in from Annamalai. He's going to give us the details of how exactly the exit from the BJP happened and what is next. Now, Shada, coming to you, because you cover Tamil Nadu politics extensively, I want to ask you, there is a discontentment with Dravidian politics that was visible in the election results. But is there space for a nationalist leader like Annamalai to rise in Tamil Nadu at the moment?
Well, Ishita, if you see ideologically, there's a difference in the parties that's coming up in the state of Tamil Nadu. As I just mentioned, the TVK is also following the footsteps of the DMK. Meanwhile, Annamalai, as a person in itself, had a lot of traction when he was part of the BJP. If you remember in the 2021 elections, though the BJP lost, again in 2024, going against the AIADMK, standing single-handedly, he got 11% of voting share percentage. Right. It was not about the candidates, but it was about the state presidentship, which was Annamalai. So now, launching his own political movement, which will slowly develop into a party, will give a lot of time for Annamalai. His next idea would be for the 2029 national elections, where he'll be standing in all 40 constituencies in the state of Tamil Nadu. And we have to see whether the future of Tamil Nadu is going to be Annamalai versus Vijay.
All right. In fact, Pulla Rao also joins us on the broadcast. Mr. Rao, thanks so much for joining us on Republic TV. I want to ask you, how do you look at this exit of K. Annamalai from BJP? Like, do you think it is a miscalculation on the part of Bharatiya Janata Party? Is it the right step for a leader like K. Annamalai, who has a nationalist streaks, who has, in fact, proved his competence in Tamil Nadu? How do you look at this?
It is definitely, we don't know whether it's a right step or not for Annamalai. But we know it is a wrong step for the BJP. BJP has lost its only charismatic figure in the South. There is no other charismatic figure in the South. And they have lost it. They should have retained him. They should have offered him what he wanted. There is no name of the BJP in the South. Can you name me one name who's got face recognition, name recognition across the country? None. That's where, in politics, you must know how to adjust contradictions. Keep mavericks in line, ambitious people, give them something, keep them in your party. Now, Annamalai has gone out. He's not going to come back tomorrow morning. He will chart his own path. He will see how the reaction goes. And it is an unknown territory for Annamalai, no doubt. But BJP is a loser there in Tamil Nadu. So let us see. I think he'll form his own party slowly and try to find space in Tamil Nadu and maybe align with anybody he likes. The future we can't predict, but in the present, it's a loss for the BJP. They were not able to retain him. Being in power in Delhi, they should have retained him. It's a very big loss. There's a face recognition that built him up over 3 years. Now he's gone, and he'll take hundreds of BJP workers with him. He will not go alone. All of those whom we have seen active will go with him. So the BJP will be even in a lesser position in future than it is now. Therefore, it's a loss for BJP. As far as Arnab is concerned, we can't say. Future is unknown, but he's decided to take his chances.
All right. So, of course, we'll get to know more details at about 12 noon when he makes the big announcement. But I want to ask you, sir, as far as his exit is concerned, it does not look like a bad breakup because he does enjoy RSS backing. So, do you think it's a cordial exit? And do you think there's still links that he will be maintaining with the party? Or is it like an independent political path onwards now?
He did the right thing. He was very close to all these leaders. To abruptly leave in an amateur way and abuse the party would be only a negativity for him. He did the right thing for himself. No party of this sort is ever friendly. They decided not to make an ugly mess, ugly scene of it, make Annamalai himself a laughing stock and the BJP leadership a laughing stock. Both decided it is better to part ways amicably. There's a possibility we might meet in the future. Why abuse each other now and cut off everything and become a laughing stock? So both decided it will be very friendly, meet each other and go. But I don't think the Prime Minister met him. He wanted to meet the Prime Minister also. I don't think he met him. Prime Minister was suffered. Why wish him favor and enhance his stature? Let him go. Let us see the future. So it was a party. No parting is happy. To say that they well parted and they're going to work against each other. So how can it be a happy juncture? Therefore, it is good for optics that they parted well, dignified way, no bad words are exchanged. But in the next few months, when their paths cross, this peace and this good feeling won't be there. They will attack each other in some ways. The language formula is something he is already against, imposing this language. The education policy, all these sensitive issues he will take up. And then we'll have to see how BJP handles them. Will they start attacking him and will he attack back? One hopes it is not so, but that's probably what's going to happen.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Pullerao, for joining us on Republic TV and sharing your analysis on this big animalized exit from BJP. Now, viewers, we're slipping into a very short break, but don't go anywhere. Coming up after a very short break are all the details of how animalized resignation has now been accepted by BJP President Nitin Abeen, and it is official what Republic broke 5 days ago. Animalized has now exited Bharatiya Janata Party. Getting you all the details on that on the other side.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े, चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
AU करंट अकाउंट के साथ मिलता है फ्री UPI QR ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी और एक ही ऐप से बैंक के सारे काम। AU
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मम्मा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरी राजा, सबका राजा आरती और मसाला।
I want to start with some very disturbing pictures that have come in of a so-called right-wing leader. His name is Sushil Prajapati. He is accused of rape. After being in jail for 9 months, he gets bail, which means he's still an accused. He's an accused in a rape case. And the case goes back to 2025 when he took an LLB student to one place on the pretext of introducing her to a senior advocate. He drugged her drink and then he sexually assaulted her. He is still under trial for rape. He has not been released. But when he comes out, this rape accused, garlands are put on him as if he's some kind of a hero, as if he's achieved something great. Is a rapist to be celebrated, ladies and gentlemen? I ask you that question. And more than anyone else, I ask the right wing of this country. Very often I come on television and I say, yes, on several issues, I'm happy to be called a right-winger. But ladies and gentlemen, let me put it clearly. You cannot let a person like this man, this Sushil Prajapati, a leader of the Hindu Yuva Vahini, a local thug, a man accused of rape, you cannot celebrate his act of rape or celebrate the fact that the rapist is out on bail. If that is the message we want to send to our society, and if all the BJP leaders want to be quiet about it, I want to ask them, why are they quiet about this? Why are they quiet? In the silence of the BJP leaders, is there a tacit support to this person? Is there a feeling that anyone who wears or puts a, proclaims that he is from a so-called Hindu organization, that he will be allowed to get away with absolutely everything, including an act of rape? Is there a
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Republic news break confirmed. Republic broke it on Monday, and today, confirmation on Annamalai's resignation. Resignation accepted. Annamalai exits BJP, tenders resignation. BJP accepts resignation. Republic investigation exposes the rot in the system. 90% of the BNBs working in New Delhi did not have a valid fire NOC. DMK to skip Indy bloc meeting on June 8 meet after fallout with Congress over Tamil Nadu polls. Big jolt to DK's cabinet in Karnataka. Minister Ramalinga Reddy resigns within 3 days of swearing in.
Voted unanimously to keep the policy repo rate under the LAF unchanged at 5.25%.
RBI announces that policy repo rate remains unchanged, also trims GDP growth rate. Real GDP growth rate now projected at 6.6%. All right, viewers, let's begin this bulletin with a big breaking news development that we are getting, and the Republic was the first to break, and we were the first to break this story that Annamalai is going to resign, and the confirmation is on air, ladies and gentlemen. Republic scoop has been confirmed. Republic news break gets confirmed once again, as always. Republic broke it on Monday, and today Annamalai has resigned, ladies and gentlemen. K. Annamalai has resigned now. Former president of the state, he has now resigned in this big development that we are getting. And this will be a big jolt to the BJP in this case, because he is a very influential and very senior leader when it comes to politics. All right, so this is the Republic's confirmation on Republic news break. Annamalai resigns. The National Press, he wrote a letter, and then he wrote the resignation letter, and now it got accepted. The resignation submitted by Tamil Nadu ex-state president Shri K. Annamalai from the primary membership of the party has been accepted. The BJP has accepted. Honorable Shri Nitin Nabeen has accepted the resignation submitted by the Tamil Nadu ex-state president Shri K. Annamalai from the primary membership of the party. Republic broke this news first. Republic reported on Monday, and Annamalai gave 5-page resignation. This is a very big development, and our scoop, as usually, got confirmed. Big breaking news development that we are getting on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. And now let's go to Apsara Reddy, spokesperson AIADMK. Apsara, Republic broke the news first, and there were plans. However, he came to Delhi to meet the senior leadership, but he made a decision and he stuck to it, and he finally he resigned, and the resignation has also been accepted. What will be your take on this?
See, I personally know Mr. Annamalai ji as a former BJP lead state leader, and also as an IPS official, and somebody with a great vision for India. And I think he looks up to Modi ji very much. He's, if you could call it that, he's a Modi Bhakt. And I think for a leader who came into BJP quite recently, he's been elevated by the BJP, but his decision to resign from such an elevated post is entirely a matter for him and his party to ponder upon. But we wish him well in whatever path he chooses. I think in a democracy, every political leader has a right to chart their own course and seek a mandate of the people or elevate themselves. And a lot of people have different aspirations for themselves. Maybe BJP is unable to fulfill them for him. Ultimately, it is the people of Tamil Nadu, I think, who will decide where his vision and leadership will take him. And I think as an official spokesperson of AIADMK, I think our focus remains to strengthen the organization, to strengthen our alliance with the BJP, to continue to be, we're continuing to be in the NDA alliance. So I think for us, we can't comment on the inner dynamics of the BJP and Annamalai, but I think we take note of his decision to embark on this new political journey. And I think Tamil Nadu has seen many political experiments over the last few decades, and latest being the Honorable CM, Mr. Vijay. And I think the people are looking for leaders of all kinds. And I think grassroots organization, if Mr. Annamalai is able to build, I think he'll also be a great name in the future.
But definitely, Apsara, all this happened because of the rift, the tensions between Annamalai and AIADMK, the choice of BJP to go with AIADMK. That's what exactly resulted in the tensions and him resigning finally. What will you say on that?
I don't see, none of this is all hypothetical. This is all conjecture. I don't think Annamalai or Mr. Edapadi or Mr. Modi or Amit Shah have ever said this. I think it was an internal party decision of the BJP to kind of set aside Annamalai's leadership and hand it over to Mr. Nayanar Nagendran, who's a very senior leader. We fought elections in alliance with the BJP, and Mr. Annamalai worked very hard in the elections to kind of get the desired result. Unfortunately, we didn't succeed, but I think blaming AIDM for Annamalai's ouster from BJP is not fair. I think it's just conjuncture. And I think Annamalai ji has ever since, always maintained a really good stance and a respectful stance towards the AIADMK and Mr. Edapadi.
Yeah, definitely. Apsara, please stay with us. We have another big breaking news development, and I'll need your comment on that too, because this is really big, ladies and gentlemen, because the resignation of Annamalai has been accepted. But now also, there's another big development that we're getting, ladies and gentlemen. BJP summons Tamil Nadu state leaders for a meeting. They have called for a meeting of Tamil Nadu state leaders, and this meeting has been called after Annamalai resignation. So there is a huge impact and there's a big jolt even for BJP, and BJP is summoning the leaders from Tamil Nadu state, the state leaders from Tamil Nadu have been summoned for a very important meeting. Apsara, how do you think this is going to impact the BJP? If you speak about Annamalai, very strong leader, a grassroots leader, he has that people connect that is very much required, and also it's not an easy road, especially for the BJP, especially if you talk about Tamil Nadu and all the Dravidian parties. How difficult it is for the BJP, and why do you think a meeting has been called? Will there be a big planning that will happen for the BJP in this case?
See, this is something the BJP leaders should comment on, but as somebody from the outside, as somebody who watches Tamil Nadu politics keenly, I really feel BJP has not done stock taking nationally with the state leaders post the election results, and I think it must be something with the stock taking, and I think every party needs to do a introspect. They have to get into introspection mode, because such a huge mandate for Mr. Vijay, and I think BJP and AIADMK were looking at a comfortable win, which didn't happen. So I think BJP will stock take, and also I think Annamalai must have given his feedback to Mr. Amit Shah and Mr. Modi ji in Delhi, because he's said to be one of their closest Tamil Nadu leaders. So when he definitely had the courtesy to go and inform them of his resignation, he must have shared his views on the election defeat or the inner functionings of the BJP in Tamil Nadu. This is for something that the BJP leaders should answer. But if you ask me an aerial view of what it looks like Annamalai's feedback has been taken seriously, and that's why they're going to have an inter-party meeting.
All right. Thanks a lot, Apsara, for a comment on what's unfolding there. And this is really big. K. Annamalai's resignation has been accepted by the BJP. All right, let's go to our correspondent for what's the latest in this. Let's go to Sharda. Sharda, this is completely. This was a big Republic scoop. This was first broken by Republic, and it got confirmed. And Annamalai was about to. He wanted to resign. He wanted to move ahead. He wanted to launch his own political movement, and this will transform into a political party. But tell us about the latest that is happening. A big meeting is also going to happen when it comes to the BJP, and all the Tamil Nadu senior leaders have been called for that meet.
Well, Shriram, BJP is planning to do damage control immediately after Annamalai has resigned from the party. All the important leaders in the BJP, including the national president, Varathi Srinivasan, Tamrasi Soundararajan, and senior leaders and multiple other people, vice presidents, have also been called by the BJP for this important meeting that is being held to make sure that there is enough damage control done after Annamalai resigned from the party. As you know, at 12 o'clock, Annamalai will be announcing what his next step is, whether it's going to be a political movement, a new political party. What's in place for him is going to be making that official announcement at 12 noon today. Meanwhile, BJP is doing the damage control. This meeting is to make sure that all the district secretaries of the BJP are on the same stand to continue to support the BJP, because it's district secretaries that brings the cards for the party, and if district secretaries are not on the same page and decide to support Annamalai, then there's a question whether if the party will face a lot of loss with more people leaving to join Annamalai's new political movement. This will bring a huge downfall for the BJP. So this meeting has been called. Following this, the district secretaries will also be announcing what their stance on Annamalai's resignation is as well.
All right, what can we expect next, Sharda, if you talk about K. Annamalai's future and also the future of BJP when it comes to Tamil Nadu? As I always said, it is not an easy road, especially the last performance of BJP in the state elections is also questionable, because K. Annamalai was pretty much upset over the performance of BJP in the last elections, state assembly elections.
Well, the future of Annamalai is very simple. It's going to be a political movement, and then 6 months to 1 year down the lane, he's going to be launching his political party, giving him a wide spectrum to get ready for the 2029 elections. Meanwhile, the question is now, what is the BJP going to do? Because we saw how badly the BJP performed in the state elections now. Earlier, under Annamalai's leadership, it had 11% of vote share percentage, and now it has only one MLA with 3% of vote share percentage. Now, will there be a new BJP party president who will give that enough amount of power that Annamalai did give for the BJP in the state? Will he give enough amount of traction that the party got, and including the media presentation that Annamalai gave, made sure that the BJP was the main opposition then rather than the AIADMK. But the NDA alliance has massively failed in the state of Tamil Nadu now, whether it's going to be a new alliance for the BJP, whether BJP is continuing with the AIADMK. Because the question is now the AIADMK is also into a lot of bits and pieces, fragments, with only 42 MLAs now left in the party. Will the AIADMK be the correct alliance for them under the NDA is a question. Now, BJP will have to think over every initial step they did, because 10 years back, what BJP was in the state of Tamil Nadu is now again back to the same position with 3%. The 11% vote share percentage that Annamalai did bring for the party has now gone down again. So it now brings a big question if Annamalai's laws will harm the BJP directly or indirectly.
Yeah, also, is there any other possible scenario? Because on one scenario can also be this, that because it's quite difficult for non-Dravidian parties to do well, especially in Tamil Nadu, except for TVK, which is a new entrant. We'll have to wait and watch exactly what the ideology is for TVK. However, the ideology of BJP was pretty much clear, Sharda, in this case. Do you think in future, if there is a political party that is launched by K. Annamalai, which will be definitely, that there will be a future alliance with the BJP and the K. Annamalai's new party, because he has better grassroots connect compared to the central party, that is the BJP?
The answer is very simple, Shivam, now, because the TVK did not have any ideology in particular, and it just came as a youth-based party, something that is going against the DMK, something which is opposition, that is of the traditional Dravidian parties, both the DMK and the AIADMK now. So it was easy for Vijay. Now, with an ideological difference, if there's a new party being formed, there will be a split in the youth participation. Now, if Vijay's TVK party have a lot of youth, if we see, but their ideology is similar as the DMK. So now, people who prefer a different ideology, especially someone who wants a right-wing ideology government in the state of Tamil Nadu, will prefer a new party rather than the AIADMK and the BJP coming together, because BJP is focused as a central party, a national party, and something that is more about Hinduism as such. But if it was Annamalai, he was perceived as a Dravidian face, though he was part of the BJP. He was the Dravidian leader from the BJP who made sure that Tamil Nadu got its rights, at the same time had enough respect at the center, and also focused on nationalism and also right-wing ideology, which was only focused by himself. So as an individual, he might be able to break that stance that the TVK had taken. So if in case in the future it is just Annamalai versus Vijay in the state of Tamil Nadu, the politics will be very tough, because it's again right-wing versus left-wing, whereas again Dravidianism and nationalism that will be at the fight.
All right, Sharda, stay with us. We have Narayan Tirupati from the BJP joining us for a comment on what's unfolding. Narayan, would you say that this is a very sad development for the BJP? Very good relations we all had with K. Annamalai, and it's a very strong grassroots leader, and also praises Prime Minister Narendra Modi. There was a courtesy meet for which he came to Delhi, but he decided to move ahead with his decision, that is resigning from party. Sir, your comment.
See, the party has accepted his resignation, and we wish him all the very best in his future, plans. And as far as BJP is concerned, BJP is, as it is 46 years old, it is the world's largest party, and it is a continuous process. After all, every party serves the society, and it is a prerogative of Annamalai to do whatever he wants, because it is a democratic country, it's a democratic party. He has chosen to go out, and it is his wish. But as far as he was in BJP is concerned, he was a very tremendous leader. No doubt, he led the party from the front, very aggressive. But when he decides to go out, I think it is his wish.
Yeah, Mr. Narayanan, a very important meeting has been called by the BJP after Annamalai's resignation. What do you think will be the agenda of the meeting after Annamalai's resignation?
Who has called a meeting?
So this is a big development that we are getting. BJP has summoned Tamil Nadu state leaders for a meeting, sir.
I don't think any such meeting has been called. In fact, I am the chief spokesperson of the party. So far, I have not received any intimation or information regarding this. I think it's a fake news what we have got.
But sir, this is Republic. This is a news break, sir. We have to wait for the confirmation on that, because we also broke that he is going to resign. BJP earlier was declining that he is going to resign.
The party has accepted Mr. Annamalai's resignation. I was talking about your sources, which said that a meeting has been called, which I don't think any meeting has been called for this issue.
All right, sir. So you're denying the meeting, sir. But how do you think it is going to impact the BJP in Tamil Nadu after his resignation?
See, I told you the age of BJP is 46 from 1980 till now. I am there in the party from 1987. Whoever comes, no individual will affect a party's growth. The party will grow. Men may come, men may go. But a leader like Annamalai leaves the party, definitely it will affect the morale of the cadres. But the party is there. Party is supreme. We have got tall leaders like Sri Narendra Modi and Mr. Amit Shah, our young leader Nitin Nabin. So it is the decision of an individual. Sir, it is not going to affect any party. Even if I leave this party, the party will grow. So nothing to do with any individuals, for any party for that matter.
But Mr. Narayan, what efforts were taken by the BJP to convince Annamalai to stay? But we hope that there must have been efforts by the Bharatiya Janata Party to ask him to stay back in the party. He's a very strong leader, sir.
Nobody wanted Mr. Annamalai to leave. Please understand.
Yeah.
And we would not like anyone to leave from the party. And we will not stop anyone to come to the party also. But if somebody decides to leave, it is their wish. It is a democratic country. They have their own liberty. So it is definitely no one would like anyone to leave the party.
All right, sir, because K. Annamalai is going to launch a political party, and the difference is the rift happened after the closeness to AIADMK, sir, in this case. Do you think in future, if there is a political party that is being launched by K. Annamalai, BJP will go along with that party?
BJP is a national party, and its leader, whatever the leadership takes a decision, the party's cadres, leaders, office bearers will abide by. This is the most disciplined party in the world and the most democratic party in the world. So, an individual cannot decide on the alliances. Even Mr. Annamalai has very clearly said that the alliances are decided by the national party, national leadership, and even in national leadership, it is a collective decision. So, Mr. Annamalai also knows all these things.
All right. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Mr. Narayan. Thanks a lot for a comment on what's happening right now. So, this is a very big development. However, it's a very big jolt. And the BJP leader, Mr. Narayanan, says that, yeah, definitely he's a very good leader. But the party moves on. It's a very big national party. So, that was the comment. Now, this is the big breaking news development that BJP has summoned Tamil Nadu state leaders for a meeting. And this meeting has been called after Annamalai's resignation. And this is a big jolt. And definitely a damage control in this case, because a very senior leader has exited the party, and the party has also accepted the resignation of K. Annamalai. All right, coming back to you, Sharda, the latest developments also, and it's definitely a very big jolt to BJP in Tamil Nadu. And now there's a meeting that has been called. If you can share the details and what can be the agenda of the meeting in this case.
Well, Shivam, the first thing is after resignation of Annamalai, the BJP national leader will be talking to the state important leaders that include the state president, Naina Nagendra, and other senior leaders like Tamasi Soundarajan, Vanathi Srinivasan, who played a major role in the BJP party in the last 5 years and for its development in the last 5 years. That also we have to also see whether the district secretaries, what they support is now. Because we know the groundwork for the BJP was done in the last 6 years, mostly by what Annamalai had done, especially the grassroots level. So the meeting is likely that the district secretaries' staff will also be taken into account. The district secretaries will also be speaking to the state president Naina Nagendran over a video conference, and the meeting will happen today after Annamalai's announcement at 12 to make sure that everybody stands the same and that the BJP party continues to grow amidst Annamalai's designation. That will be the main agenda, Shivam. Like Narendra Tripathi said, while an official call is not being given to the BJP leaders, very soon this meeting is likely to take place because Annamalai's resignation is a huge loss for the BJP party in the state of Tamil Nadu. And we know that though Naina Nagendran is now the state president, he was the former AIADMK leader, and that's the reason that the AIADMK and the India Alliance were strong during the 2026 elections. The sole reason that BJP grew was because of Annamalai to 11%, statistically speaking. In that case, now an important meeting will be held by the state leaders to make sure that this does not cause damage to the party's development in the state.
All right, and yesterday was his birthday also, and he made an announcement that he will be going live today, and we'll have to wait for his social media live, Sharda, and we'll need your comment on that. Keep tracking that development. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to slip into a short commercial break, but don't go anywhere. We'll bring you all the latest details on what's unfolding, because this is Republic Scoop, Big Scoop, Republic News Break, which gets confirmed as always. Coming up next, Annamalai exits BJP. Confirmed.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
प्यास बुझाए ठंडक लाए सबको भाए जीरा से MTH का जलजीरा जीरा से
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा.
In fact, very often I believe the only way to get justice in India is a media trial. So there's no reason for the media, if it's doing a good job of a media trial, to be on the back foot. In fact, the courts should stop making these overarching remarks about media trial and contemplate about one very basic thing. With the greatest of respect to the courts, when the other institutions fail, when people get let down by the system, when even the judiciary does not seem to be listening or raising a noise about issues, like in the case of Twisha Sharma, who does the public look to for justice, for raising their voice, for bringing something that's utterly false, illegal or wrong to public attention? It is only and only the media. And today, therefore, we are doing a media trial in this specific case, ladies and gentlemen, of Twisha Sharma, the 33-year-old daughter-in-law of an ex-judge, in a case where the ex-judge and the ex-judge's advocate son appear to be more than involved. Ladies and gentlemen, 15 questions tonight. And if they think it's a media trial, so be it. So be it. Why did the ex-judge in the case of Twisha Sharma, neither she nor her son call a police or an ambulance? What took them 57 minutes to bring the body down? Where are the 3 men who are seen in the video dragging Twisha's body, destroying evidence? What was the police doing? Did they question the house staff? Did they question the judge? Was Twisha...
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार.
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है, स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
I want to start with some very disturbing pictures that have come in of a so-called right-wing leader. His name is Sushil Prajapati. He is accused of rape. After being in jail for 9 months, he gets bail, which means he's still an accused. He's an accused in a rape case. And the case goes back to 2025 when he took an LLB student to one place on the pretext of introducing her to a senior advocate. He drugged her drink and then he sexually assaulted her. He is still under trial for rape. He has not been released. But when he comes out, this rape accused, garlands are put on him as if he's some kind of a hero, as if he's achieved something great.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरी राजा,
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने।
मनी 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 एवरी मंथ। सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ,
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी every day.
In fact, very often I believe the only way to get justice in India is a media trial. So there's no reason for the media, if it's doing a good job of a media trial, to be on the back foot. In fact, the courts should stop making these overarching remarks about media trial and contemplate about one very basic thing. With the greatest of respect to the courts, when the other institutions fail, when people get let down by the system, when even the judiciary does not seem to be listening or raising a noise about issues, like in the case of Twisha Sharma. Who does the public look to for justice, for raising their voice, for bringing something that's utterly false, illegal or wrong to public attention? It is only and only the media. And today, therefore, we are doing a media trial.
Hello and a very warm welcome, viewers. You're watching Republic TV with me, Ishita Mitra. Now, viewers, political equations are changing in Tamil Nadu. Now, what Republic confirmed 5 days ago has now been confirmed as K. Annamalai has officially parted ways with the BJP. Getting you all the details on that on the other side. But first up, a quick check at the top headlines. Republic scoop confirmed. Republic broke it on Monday, and today Annamalai resigns and his resignation accepted by BJP. K. Annamalai exits Bharatiya Janata Party, tenders resignation. BJP accepts the resignation. Republic investigation exposes the rot in the system. 90% of the BNBs working in New Delhi did not have a valid fire NOC. DMK to skip Indi bloc meet on June 8th after fallout with Congress over Tamil Nadu polls. Big jolt to DK's cabinet in Karnataka. Minister Ramalinga Reddy resigns within 3 days of swearing in.
The MPC voted unanimously to keep the policy repo rate under the LAF unchanged at 5.25%.
RBI announces policy repo rate unchanged, also trims the GDP growth rate. Real GDP growth rate currently projected at 6.6%. All right, we'll stop focus what's happening in the state of Tamil Nadu now. Right after BJP accepted KNMLI's resignation, it has now summoned the state leaders for an important meet after the resignation has now been accepted by the party. Now, this is to make sure district secretariats and party leaders, in fact, stand and assess the situation of the party cadres at the moment. This comes right after former BJP president in Tamil Nadu has now resigned. KNMLI from the party officially has parted ways with the Saffron Party, with the resignation getting accepted by the BJP president. We're looking at a crucial meet being called by the party leaders to take a stock of the situation as it stands in the state at the moment. Now, the crucial meet, in fact, will be to assess the situation of party cadres and the secretaries involved as well. So we're looking at political equations undergoing a change in the state of Tamil Nadu. Now, the rumors, in fact, have been going around regarding BJP and the rift that was growing with KNMLI within the party. But Republic broke this 5 days ago. In fact, the exit has been confirmed. He has attended resignation. And today we've got the confirmation from the party president himself as he accepted KNMLI's resignation today, which essentially ends his primary membership of Bharatiya Janata Party. So we are looking at major changes now unfolding at about 12 noon today. He will be addressing a major press conference, giving us all the details of what his next political moves are. Will he be launching a political outfit which will later transform into a party to take on TVK's Vijay? Will it be an independent movement working on the grassroots leaders, nurturing the leaders and training them? Will that take place today? We'll, of course, get to know in just a short while from now. In fact, my colleague Shada also joins me in more details on this. Shada, now you have been tracking this very closely. You broke this news 5 days ago that he has attended his resignation. And today, of course, we saw how the party president has accepted it. Now, right after that, there's a crucial meet that the BJP has called in for all its cadres at the moment. Give us details. What do we know about this crucial meeting? What's on the agenda for this?
Ishita, after Annamalai's resignation was accepted by the national president, a meeting is set to be conducted among the national leaders with the state leaders, including the state president Nainar Nagendran and senior leaders of the BJP that include Thamizhaisree Soundararajan, Vanati Srinivasan and other important state leaders of the BJP. This comes after Annamalai's resignation. To make sure that the district secretaries are also on the same stance of the BJP, continuing the party at with a very strong presence in the state, because as we mentioned earlier, that Annamalai's power in the BJP, what he made, the drastic change that he brought to Tamil Nadu was very huge. And losing an important leader like Annamalai, BJP might face a lot of loss, because the current elections did not give a good yield for the BJP with only 3% of vote share for them now. So in this case, this meeting will be held to make sure that all the leaders are bought in for the confirmation that they are on the same stance. And also importantly speaking, it is all about how the information that the BJP is going to take forward, because at 12 o'clock there's an announcement by Annamalai saying what his next political announcement will be, whether it's going to be a political party or whether it's going to be a political movement. In this case, the meeting is being called to make sure that the district secretaries do hold on to the BJP party and do not follow Annamalai immediately, because the party structure will collapse in that case. So the meeting is being called to make sure that there is enough damage control done by the party.
Right, of course, Shada, now anticipation is growing for what KNMLI will be announcing at 12 noon today, because there's a leader who's already proven his competence in Tamil Nadu politics. He enjoys public support. He's raised issues that have resonated with people on the ground. So all eyes are now on his next political move. So what are we fetching on that from our sources?
Well, according to our sources, initially it's going to be a political movement that is going to be launched by Annamalai. The political movement is going to be involving youth and professionals from Tamil Nadu with a right-wing ideology is what we heard. Including nationalism would be one of the main topics that Annamalai is going to be bringing. And for the next 6 to 8 months, he's going to be going on the ground, building it at the grassroots level, selecting the exact candidate. We cannot call it candidate, but an exact person that will maintain the district well, bring in a lot of youths with the same ideology together, with a perspective that, especially that this particular political movement that Annamalai will be forming is going to be turning into a political party, is what the sources say. In the next 1 year, the political party will be up and functioning at a full stream, and it is a big alternative for the Vijay's TVK. We saw how this time both the DMK and the AIADMK have completely lost, and TVK with youth factor has built up very nicely. So to go against the TVK, a new party will likely emerge if Annamalai's political movement becomes a huge success. Ishita.
All right, Shada, and as far as his next political move is concerned, we're looking at some sort of a political movement being launched, which could later on transform into a party to set to take on TVK's Vijay. What are other political actors reacting on that? Any political reaction that has come in on Annamalai's exit so far?
As of now, the BJP does agree that Annamalai is a huge loss, resignation is a huge loss for the BJP. However, the DMK and the AIADMK has not come out and openly stated what Annamalai's resignation means for the BJP in the state. AIADMK being one of the allies of the NDA. We saw Annamalai campaigning for the AIADMK MLAs this time, so we have to wait and watch what is the official stance of the AIADMK now, because the NDA alliance importantly consists of a few political parties, and the alliance parties are yet to make their comment on this. Meanwhile, Annamalai's friends like TTV Dinakaran and Anbumani Ramdas, who've been traveling with Annamalai under the NDA alliance for a very long time, have yet to make their official comment after his resignation. But both the DMK, the VCK, the left parties do see that Annamalai's resignation will face a huge loss for the NDA alliance in the state. VCK leader Thul Thiruvavalan today morning made a comment telling that there is no doubt that Annamalai's phase was an equivalent position to that of a leader for the BJP in the state. So in that case, the left parties are making their comments telling that it will cause a huge damage for the NDA alliance in the state.
All right, exciting times ahead. We'll, of course, look forward to what is the big announcement that will come in at 12 noon today. And we'll keep coming back to you, Shada, for all the latest on K. Annamalai's exit from BJP. But for now, thanks so much for joining us and giving us all the details. And now we are shifting focus to what's happening in the state of Karnataka. Now, Republic Kannada is a big political samurai dissent seems to be growing in new DKS government. Now, one minister has already resigned and another one has signaled the intent to quit the party as well. It's a major setback for the newly sworn-in Congress government in Karnataka, as two ministers could be quitting soon. Now, after Ramalinga Reddy, it is a KH Muniappa who's also upset with the party and says could resign soon. So it's a big jolt to DKS government, a newly sworn-in government, but internal discord, dissent seems to be rising just within 3 days. One minister, Ramalinga Reddy, has already resigned, and another minister, in fact, is also unhappy with the way party has been functioning so far. My colleague Abhishek also joins me with more details on this. Abhishek, take us through this internal discord that's now rising within Karnataka Congress unit. Now, Ramalinga Reddy has already shown his intent that he's no longer in mood to stay with the party, but it seems the internal dissent is not just confined to him. There's another leader who could also be resigning soon.
Ishita, it is not even 48 hours after the ministers of DK Shivkumar cabinet who took the oath on June 3rd in between 4:15 and 4:45. The first wicket of DK Shivkumar's cabinet is Ramalinga Reddy, who was expecting that he'd be given the Bengaluru development portfolio, but he has been given another portfolio which he doesn't want to continue with. Indirectly, he also mentioned the fact that it is the promise of DK Shivkumar which had to be kept alive, but DK Shivkumar hasn't done that. So he's clearly mentioned in his resignation letter that he is thankful for the ministerial real opportunity that the cabinet gave him, that the government gave him, but he cannot go against his conscience, and that is why he is resigning from his position of the minister. And a very close aide of Ramlinga Reddy has already handed over the letter to the additional chief secretary of DK Shivkumar, who is the chief minister of the state of Karnataka. On the other hand, we've also seen KH Muniappa, another senior leader who's mentioned to the media, who's spoken very outly to the media, stating that he's unhappy with the portfolio that he has given, and the consequences might not be fine. The consequences might have to be faced by the government if the portfolio continues in the same manner, because he wanted to help the people, he wanted to stay near the people, and he wanted to expect that there will be a portfolio change, keeping into his seniority into consideration. But this number might increase in the next couple of hours is what we can assume as of now, because Satish Jarkiholy, who was the chief contender of KPCC presidentship, has also received only the minister post, but he is very clearly unhappy. The people and the followers of Satish Jarkiholy are also unhappy with the designation that has been given to Satish Jarkiholy. We are yet to see what might happen or what might unfold in the next couple of hours, because Ramlinga Reddy very clearly, despite his followers requesting him not to resign, had to lose his control today. This is the first ever time that Ramlinga Reddy lost his control in front of the cameras, and that is why Ramlinga Reddy's another face has been unveiled in front of the people, because it clearly shows that he is unhappy with whatever portfolio has been given to him, and he still demands that Bengaluru development portfolio be given to him. On the other hand, we are also expecting that KH Muniappa might be in the limelight because he is also on the way to resign, is what the sources claim. On the other hand, we are also expecting Satish Jarkiholy might also resign to the post of minister in the next couple of hours or probably 1 or 2 days. We've also seen DK Shivkumar, the current chief minister of Karnataka, who's mentioned the fact that Ramlinga Reddy is a very good friend and a very close friend of mine, and he will be trying to sort out the issues between the portfolios in the next couple of hours. And also we have seen BK Hariprasad, the newly appointed KPCC president, who mentioned the fact that these things might happen during the shuffle or the reshuffle or due to the political developments, and this will be brought to a peaceful end, is what BK Hariprasad has mentioned. On the other hand, we've also seen Abhishek Dutt, who's already met Ramlinga Reddy, to convince to continue in the post of the minister with whatever portfolio he has been given. We are expecting to see there might be some political drama which has started from now, which might continue for a couple of days. And the fact is that Rahul Gandhi will be in city today. Rahul Gandhi will be here to talk to the senior most leaders of the Congress party in the state of Karnataka. There might be some political hangama which might happen in the next couple of hours. Ishita.
Right, Abhishek. And you know what's interesting to see is how is Siddaramaiah looking at all of this. But on a very serious note, I want to ask you, all this boils down to their political aspirations, that they are not happy with the portfolios that they have been given so far. So in a kind of this condition that it's been just 48 hours, it's a big challenge for DKS himself that he has to now go for a reshuffle, and what it looks like a reshuffle of the portfolios which have been distributed so far. So how is the newly sworn-in chief minister taking it, and what is likely his next step to sort of, tackle this situation at hand?
The political analysts, as of now, off the record, have mentioned the fact that this might be an outcome of the brain work of Siddaramaiah, who's got on from the position of Chief Minister. Ramlinga Reddy, KH Muniappa, Satish Jarkiholy are all the close aides, were also on the camp of Siddaramaiah back then. And at this point of time, we clearly saw that Siddaramaiah gave up on his chair without any issue, without any tussle, without any remorse at this point of time. But at onset of him getting down from the position of Chief Minister, this might be the checkmate which he has placed in front of DK Shivkumar. He's indirectly building the pressure on DK Shivkumar to make sure that the next set of ministers who will be getting into the cabinet of DK Shivkumar will also get equal weightage like how Siddaramaiah got in his cabinet. He is also probably mounting the pressure on the high command by indirectly showing that if DK Shivkumar doesn't take into consideration the thoughts and the opinions of the senior most ministers, he might have to face the backlash not only of the people from the Siddaramaiah's camp, but also from the people, from the ministers who are in DK Shivkumar's cabinet. Indirectly, we will have to see that the political vendetta or the actual game has begun now. It was only until now that Siddaramaiah had kept quiet that there will be a drama of events which might be unfolding in the next couple of hours. Ishita.
All right, Abhishek, and in fact, the last question to you on this. We're looking at several leaders who have come out. You said 2 are already out in the open. Their rebellion is out in the open, but other names could also come in within the next few hours. So what are the other names that you're looking at, and is their problem also confined to portfolio distribution?
Very clearly, it is the first wicket is considered to be Ramlinga Reddy, who has held various other positions in the last couple of years because he's been elected as an MLA for the last 8 to 9 times. Keeping his seniority into consideration, he demanded that the promise made by DK Shivkumar be kept open and it had to be validated. However, since it hasn't been done, he will be resigning from his post and he has already abided by his words. The next in the line is K.H. Muniappa, who was the Food and Civil Supplies Minister previously, who has been allocated the same portfolio even now, and he is unhappy with the portfolio which he has been allotted with, and he might also continue with the resignation after Ramlinga Reddy. On the other hand, we've also seen Satish Jarkiholi, who was the PWD minister and has also been given the same portfolio as of now, but he was aiming at the presidentship of the Karnataka Pradesh Congress Committee. However, the position which he was aiming at, because he had clearly mentioned that he will be the chief minister face of 2028 elections, to be the chief minister of Karnataka in the Congress party, one had to be the KPCC president. The portfolio has been given, the position has been given to BK Hariprasad. So it is very clear that Satish Jarkiholi is also unhappy that he hasn't received the post of KPCC president. So we are expecting that there might be some political developments or resignations even in Satish Jarkiholi's case, and he will go after he has a conversation with not only the voters of his constituency, but also he might have a word with CM, the former CM, the Siddaramaiah, and also the closest aides of Satish Jarkiholi, and he might also come in the limelight after he provides a resignation or after he submits his resignation to DK Shivkumar. This might happen probably in the next couple of hours or in the next couple of days. Ishita.
All right, Abhishek, so we'll of course have to see how the newly sworn in Chief Minister DK Shivkumar handles this big crisis at its hands at the moment. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, viewers, it's not just, in fact, Karnataka Congress unit, but rift also seems to be growing within India Alliance. After DMK decided not to attend the India Alliance meeting in Delhi on 8th of June, leader of opposition Udayanidhi Stalin yesterday thanked the people in his constituency to vote for him while saying that the Congress is a backstabber. Now, he also stated that Congress, which took a Rajya Sabha seat from DMK while coming for a pre-poll alliance with DMK, has now asked for another Rajya Sabha seat from TVK immediately after forming alliance with them. Now, he pointed out that the DMK will never forgive Congress for its backstabbing, while also saying that the current ruling TVK government is using SOFA model, indicating that Vijay met all the leaders to seek support to get majority and even asked the rift factor AIA DMK to support him during the flow test. So we are looking at the rift within India Alliance now widening, with the DMK very clearly on his stance that Congress is a backstabber. In fact, now my colleague Shada also joins you with more details on this. Shada, we have seen this rift growing between Congress and DMK ever since Tamil Nadu election results were announced, but now it seems it's growing a notch up, with DMK clearly saying that Congress is a backstabber and they will never forgive the party.
Well, DMK's leader of opposition, Udayanidhi Stalin, yesterday, speaking in his constituency, thanking the people for voting for him, announced that they will never forget or forgive what Congress has done to them, stated that they came for an alliance before the election, stating that DMK was the strongest party at the time, took a Rajya Sabha seat from them and even contested in the 27 seats that the DMK wanted to contest in, and that they, in the seat sharing process, gave enough support to the Congress, even campaigned for them. Meanwhile, the Congress immediately jumped to TVK when there was a winning probability for the TVK was high, and immediately formed the government, called them opportunists, because right after getting that, this time Congress is also asking for a Rajya Sabha seat from the TVK, and the Praveen Chakravarti has been elected as the Rajya Sabha candidate for the TVK, a voice for the TVK plus Congress alliance in Delhi for the current Rajya Sabha nomination which has been given. So he pointed out, telling that Congress is a huge backstabber and the DMK would not be forgiving them. It was only last evening that the DMK made an official statement saying that they are out of the India Alliance and wouldn't go for the India Alliance meeting that is organized in Delhi on the 8th, because Congress is the one will be attending and that also leading the India Alliance. The DMK has decided to come out of it, Ishita.
Right, of course. Thanks, Shada, for joining us and giving us all those details about how the rift between Congress and DMK is now out in the open. And now, viewers, shifting focus to the capital city. A horrifying fire in Delhi's Malviya Nagar has now exposed what many residents say is a deadly mix of negligence, corruption and systemic failure. As the flames engulfed a building packed far beyond its action capacity, trapped occupants say they were left to fend for themselves for nearly an hour. A Republic investigation now reveals how widespread violations, illegal hotel operations and weak enforcement may have turned Delhi into a network of potential death traps. Watch Republic's Editor-in-Chief Arnab Goswami's take on the corruption that killed 21 people in the national capital.
The problem is with the word tragedy, because it is much worse than that. The problem is with the word accident, because what happened in Delhi was certainly not an accident. The problem, ladies and gentlemen, is saying 21 people dead in Delhi fire. No, ladies and gentlemen. No, ladies and gentlemen. There's only one headline for this, what happened. When you see the pictures of the people trying to desperately flee the fire, when you see someone on a rooftop trying to find a way to get away, when you see someone jumping out, when you see a body charred, we say 21 people killed in Delhi fire. No, there is only one headline for this, and that is a two-word headline. Corruption kills. And we feel corruption will always kill someone else. No, ladies and gentlemen. Corruption can kill you, me, or anyone. We can all be victims. In a way, we are all victims. But when we see an incident like what happened in Malviya Nagar in Delhi, we feel, oh, it was an accident. It was not an accident. Someone was making a lot of money illegally. Somebody was flouting the law. Somebody was allowing them to flout the law. Some Sarkari Babu was making money. Somebody was getting a hafta. The money was going up the chain. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how corruption kills. So when you see these stories, woman resting her head on a man's shoulder, holding him in embrace, both found dead in a restroom, suffocated to death in their last moments. Remember, corruption kills. When you hear about 8 members of the Agarwal family at the hotel to be close to their hospitalized father, remember, corruption kills. When you hear about an African couple who came with hope to the hospital close by, seeking IVF treatment in the hope they would have a child, found dead in each other's arms, remember, corruption kills. When you hear about Shrutika, who was supposed to join a new firm, she was on a call, maybe for that new job, and she shouted, help, help. Her body was found in an AIMS mortuary. Remember that corruption kills. When you hear of a young 29-year-old Iraqi national in Delhi for the treatment of his 18-year-old cousin who had a brain tumor, hoping that his cousin would get a new breath of life, both dead. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, corruption kills. The problem in our country is we feel this is not corruption. So Republic did a sting operation and we found a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, all rules have been broken. No rules about bed and breakfast were followed, otherwise this would not have happened. Is this not corruption? Rules say only 6 rooms were allowed, 26 rooms were operating. For someone in the government not getting a bribe, corruption kills. Officers data shows over 90% of hotels in Delhi do not have or did not have a fire NOC. Do you think the government doesn't know? They know. Do you think nobody is getting paid for it? How corruption? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, corruption kills. What I'm trying to make is good enough, not top level corruption. Corruption is there at the lower levels of our society, the middle levels of our society. That's where 99% of corruption happens. Yes, you don't call it a big 10,000 crore scam. It is corruption. Unless that corruption goes away, then what happened in this terrible incident in India will continue to happen. You can look at these cases and start raising questions. Or you can call it cases of urban governance. This is not misgovernance. The Ohar fire tragedy, not just a fire tragedy, 1997. To be precise, June 1997. And today, ladies and gentlemen, is the 4th of June 2026. In days, it will be 29 years since Ohar. In 29 years, we learned no lesson. 29 years, corruption killed. 29 years later, corruption is continuing to kill. Many of you were shocked when on 27 July 2024, there was an incident in which 3 UPSC aspirants died in the coaching center in Old Rajendra in Delhi. You may remember that. You were all shocked and you said, all of this is because rules were flouted, and we all said we will never let corruption kill again. We are 2 years later. Corruption killed once again. And all we are is quiet witnesses to what's happening. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we ever learn? Will all the incidents of happened be called tragedies, accidents, and mishaps when we know they are not? Will you continue to think that someone else will be the victim when you or someone close to you can be a victim in the future? Please rise, spread the video, spread awareness, challenge the system, challenge the situation, spread the hashtag corruption kills, so it stops doing so sometime in the near future.
Coming up after a short break, public investigation exposes the rot in the system. Lined up for you as ahead Republic investigation illegal hotels operating in Delhi, exposing the rot on the side. Stay tuned to Republic.
क्या बना है
सैंडविच
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट ड्राई फ्रूट और लोहे बड़े चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट
केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
प्योर सूजी पास्ता मिलाओ और खाओ
में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हर प्योर मसाला
I want to start with some very disturbing pictures that have come in of a so-called leader. His name is Sushil Prajapati. He is accused of rape. After being in jail for 9 months, he gets bail. He's still an accused. He's an accused in a rape case. And the case goes back to 2025 when he took an LLB student to one place on the pretext of introducing her to a senior advocate. He drugged her drink and then he sexually assaulted her. He is still on trial for rape. He has not been released. But when he comes out, this report goes on him as if he's some hero, as if he just thinks he's a rapist. To be celebrated, ladies and gentlemen, I ask that question. More than anyone else, I ask the right wing of this country. Very often I come on television and I say, yes, on several issues, I'm happy to be called a right-winger.
जीरा सिर्फ असली रिफ्रेशिंग असली स्वाद असली मजा
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एयर इंटरेस्ट तो भी
मनी एवरीवन सोच बदलो और बैंक भी
वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है
अरे मेरा
In fact, very often I believe the only way justice in India, so there's no reason for the courts doing a good job of media trial to be back foot. In fact, the courts should stop making these overarching remarks about media trial and contemplate about one with greatest respect to the courts when the other institutions fail, when people get let down by the system, when even the judiciary does not seem to be listening or raising a noise about issues, like in the case of the who does the public look to for raising their voice? For something that's utterly false, legal or wrong to public attention is only media. Therefore, we are doing media specific, ladies and gentlemen. Sharma, 33-year-old daughter-in-law of ex-judge in a case where the ex-judge and the ex-judge advocate's son 15 questions tonight. They think it's a media trial, so be it. Why did the ex-judge, in the case of she what took 15 minutes to bring the body down? When the men who are seen in the video bagged Tuisha's body, destroying evidence, what was the police doing? Did they question the house staff? Did they question the judge? Was Tuisha carrying headphones in her bag, in her hand, or a rope? Where is it now? Where is that wall built? What name was used by her? Why was it hidden? The mother-in-law, the judge, walks out while the body is dragged down and is being destroyed before the judge's eyes. Is that normal? Why don't the judges raise a hue and cry about it? Why don't the appellate courts take up this case suo motu? So people don't start believing that when an ex-judge is concerned, the victim will never get justice. Ladies and gentlemen, what was the ex-judge carrying in her hand when she went down? Where is all the CCTV footage? Did the police collect it? Why did the ex-judge's son Samarth Singh escape after bringing the body of his wife to AIIMS? Is it true that the ex-judge's son's medical examination was not conducted? The police station is right behind the ex-judge's Giribala's house. Why was no call made? Why did it take 5 days to file an FIR in the case? Who stalled it? Why was the victim's family attacked in court if there's nothing to hide? And did a very senior police officer go to AIIMS that night to try and fudge?
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
இன்னைக்கு ரொம்ப பண்போடு சொல்லிவிட்டு அதே இயக்கத்திலிருந்து வெளியே வருகின்றேன். இது தமிழர் பண்புன்னு கூட வச்சுக்கலாம். வெளியே சென்றாலும் கூட மரியாதையோடு சொல்லிவிட்டு செல்வது நம்முடைய பண்பு என்பதுதான் எனக்கும் இலக்கணமாக இருந்திருக்கிறது. இன்றிலிருந்து நம்முடைய ஒரு புதிய பாதை, ஒரு புதிய இயக்கம், ஒரு புதிய பொலிட்டிக்கல் மூவ்மெண்ட் அடிப்படையிலிருந்து ஒரு புதிய பரிமாணத்தோடு பார்வையோடு பார்க்கக்கூடிய ஒரு விதத்தில் தான் நம்முடைய மூவ்மெண்ட்டை நம்ம ஆரம்பிக்கணும். நீங்கள் எல்லோரும் சேர்ந்து இணைஞ்சு அதை ஆரம்பிக்கணும் அப்படிங்கிறது என்னுடைய பெரிய ஆசைங்க. அதற்கு முன்பு சில விஷயத்தை சொல்லணும். என்னுடைய அரசியல் பாதை என்பது ரொம்ப வளைஞ்சு நெளிஞ்சு இங்கே வந்து உங்கள் முன்னாடி நின்றுட்டு இருக்கேன். இது ஈஸி பாத் கிடையாது. ஒரு கிராமத்தில் பிறந்து ஒரு சாதாரண குடும்பத்தில் விவசாய குடும்பத்திலிருந்து வந்து ஒரு காமன் மேன் அரசியலுக்கு வர்றதே நம்ம ஊரில் நம்ம ஒதுங்கிக்குவோம், வரமாட்டோம். பட் அதே போல என்னுடைய
officially resigning from the BJP after his resignation was accepted, now he's speaking to the media directly, saying that he comes from an agricultural family where his background is not very well sufficed. He struggled to come to the position where he is today. He's worked hard for where he is today.
இந்த வயசுல எனக்கு அந்த இன்டர்ன்ஷிப் திரு விஜயகாந்த் அவங்க கிட்ட செய்யறதுக்கு ஒரு பெரிய பாக்கியம் அன்னைக்கு.
In a particular age when he had to do an internship, he had worked with the former DMDK leader Vijayakant, and he got the opportunity to work with him.
உருவாக்க முடியுமா, ஒரு better politics for a better society கொண்டு வர முடியுமா?
Focusing on whether he could bring in a better politics, a better society for the state of Tamil Nadu, and that he was very eager on that. And on August 4,
எனக்கும் அவருக்குமான நட்பு கிட்டத்தட்ட நான் பதவியிலிருந்து வந்த பிறகு ஒரு நட்பு நிறைய அவர்கிட்ட பேசுவேன்.
Even after he did not work with Vijayakant for a long time, the friendship that he had with the political leader continued for a very long time.
ஆகஸ்ட் 24 ஒரு நாளைக்கு முன்னாடி பிஜேபியில சேர பொழுது வைத்த பொழுது,
and on August 24, before joining the BJP, he made sure to meet the DMDK leader Vijayakant.
சூப்பர் ஸ்டாருக்கு என்ன நல்லது, அவர் அரசியலுக்கு வராம இருக்கிறது அவருக்கு நல்லது. கோவிட் காலகட்டத்தில்
he also met superstar Vijayakant before entering into the BJP, saying that it was good that Rajinikanth did not enter politics because it was right at COVID time. And the decision made by superstar Rajinikanth was right to not enter politics at the time.
கான்ஃப்ளிக்ட் இங்க இருக்கும் பொழுது, ஸோ ஒரு நாள் இந்த கட்சியில் இணைவதற்கு முன்பாகவே முழு கான்ஃப்ளிக்ட். அன்னைக்கே ரஜினிகாந்த் ஐயா பேசி அந்த ஃபோன் காலுக்கு முதல் முறையாக மறுத்து ஐயா மன்னிச்சுக்கங்க என்னால வர முடியாது என்று
that he also did a phone call with Rajnikant before joining BJP, his first political career in August 24, 2021, right after COVID when he joined.
எதுக்கு இதை நான் சொல்றேன் அப்படின்னாங்க, சில யூகங்களுக்கெல்லாம் என்று முற்றுப்புள்ளி வைக்க வேண்டும் என்பதற்காக மட்டும்தான் இதை நான் சொல்றேங்க, வேற எந்த காரணமும் கிடையாது. இன்னைக்கும் சூப்பர் ஸ்டார் அவர்கள் மீது பெரும் மதிப்பு மரியாதையும் வைத்திருக்கக்கூடிய மனிதன் நான்.
He also makes a confirmation that he still has the respect towards superstar Rajnikant even today. No matter what his friendship, his relationship with Rajnikant continues. He wants to clarify that.
நிறைய பேர் என்கிட்ட கேட்பாங்க, குறிப்பா இந்த பகுதி இந்தியாவில் வரும்பொழுது அண்ணாமலை நீங்க தமிழனா இந்தியனா அப்படின்னு கேட்பாங்க. இது எனக்கு ஒரு பெரிய கான்ஃபிளிக்டிங் கொடுக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு விஷயம். ஆர் யூ தமிழியன் ஆர் யூ அன் இந்தியன் அப்படின்னு. தமிழ்நாட்டில் என்னுடைய அப்பாவோ அம்மாவோ, என்னோட அம்மா தமிழ்நாட்டை தாண்டி வெளியே வந்ததே கிடையாதுங்க. தமிழ்நாட்டில் மட்டும்தான் இருந்திருக்கிறாங்க. என்னுடைய பாரம்பரியம் எல்லாமே. அப்பா ஒரு முறை தமிழ்நாட்டுக்கு வெளியே சின்ன வயசுல வந்துட்டு போயிருக்கிறாங்க. ஹைதராபாத்ல 2 ஆண்டு காலம் ட்ரைனிங்ல இருப்பதற்கு, அதன் பிறகு கர்நாடகால 8-9
and that he continued to work after his IPS service. He made sure that he worked in Hyderabad, Karnataka, and other parts of the country in different states. And that he confidently states that he is a nationalist and Indian and not just for a person who is working for Tamil Nadu.
ஒரு பெருமை மிகுந்த தமிழனா இருக்கணும் அப்படின்னா
because he is a very proud Indian,
நிறைய கட்சிகள் அங்க இருக்காங்க.
and that he's constantly pointing out that he is confidently says that he is a Tamilian and that he didn't need an identity to call himself a successful Indian, a strong Indian, an independent person, but says that his identity as a strong Tamilian comes with an identity tag that follows him by saying that he is an Indian.
பாரதிய ஜனதா கட்சியில் இணைந்த பிறகு எல்லா தலைவர்களும் பெரும் ஒத்துழைப்பு தான் இருந்தும்
everybody was very happy after joining with the BJP. Multiple people did suggest that he should contest alone, but he wanted to make sure that
அவர்கள் நிறைய பேர்த்துக்கிட்ட பேசி
BJP should have an identity in the state, and that
ஏதோ தனிப்பட்ட முறையில் எனக்கு
he decided to make sure that the BJP gets an identity separately apart from the India Alliance, and that to give an identity as a Tamilian to the BJP, he made sure that the local body polls and the Lok Sabha polls in the 2024 was done by the BJP separately. He also said that under JP Nada's rule, he made sure that whatever was the issue they made, they started giving voice on their own, pointing out the issue of Mekadatu Dam as well. He said that the BJP was the first to go against Karnataka's Congress. He said that at past when the BJP was in power in Karnataka, it was again the BJP in the seat of Tamil Nadu that raised its voice.
நம்ம உரிமையை விட்டு கொடுக்காம செயலாற்ற முடியும் என்பதை ஒரு நாளும் கூட எனக்கு கிடைத்த பொறுப்பு.
That he worked tirelessly for the BJP in this state and that he not and he made sure that whatever the reasons have been that he had to with the party today. So he had enough
பிரச்சனைகள் அப்படியே சேர்ந்து வரும் பொழுது
level of respect to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and even today he respects Narendra Modi and his inspiration continues to be Prime Minister. He said the issues increased in the state of Tamil Nadu with the BJP, and that he's been very patient for a very long time, but he couldn't do anything. For the last 18 months, he had a lot of differences in opinion and made sure that he was very patient in the last 18 months to make sure that there was no turmoil that raised in the BJP, and that he's giving his opinion straightforward in a very nice and decent way, and that he's saying that he never made his decision very soon. He made his decision after a lot of thought put into it. It was after 18 months of struggle in the party of the BJP that he was not able to give what his opinions are, where he is not able to convey what he wanted, and that until the last minute he made sure he worked for the party of the BJP.
ஆனந்தமாக அன்போடு தமிழ்நாட்டில் ஒரு அரசியல் இயக்கத்தை இது அரசியல் இயக்கமா
Annamalai officially confirms that he is starting
அடுத்து நடக்கக்கூடிய தமிழகத்தினுடைய பொது
a political movement immediately, and there is no doubt that he is starting a political party. He is saying that his political movement will be developed into a political party with no doubt, and that the next elections will see Annamalai's party.
அதற்கு கொஞ்சம் நேரமாகும். நாம் ஒரு இயக்கமாக ஆரம்பித்து நிறைய மனிதர்களை உள்ளே கொண்டு வந்து அவர்களுக்கு
start as a political movement, bring in a lot of people, and that all common men will be brought in. The people will be brought into his political movement, which will slowly develop into a party.
மண் சார்ந்த அரசியலை முன்னெடுக்கணும், நல்ல மனிதர்களுடைய கொள்கைகள் உள்ள கொண்டு வரணும், எல்லா மனிதர்களையும் உள்ளடக்கிய அரசியலை நாம் முன்னிறுத்தணும்.
The party will have people from all kinds of backgrounds, educated professionals, agriculturalists.
மிகப்பெரிய நிறுவனம் நிவிடி எடுத்துக்கங்க, மைக்ரான் எடுத்துக்கங்க.
Everybody in the party will be brought in to make sure that the party is made much stronger.
வைஸ் பிரசிடென்ட் பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு தமிழன் அங்க உட்கார்ந்து இருக்கான். இந்தியன் என்கின்ற அடையாளத்தோடு அங்கே ஒரு தமிழன் வந்திருக்கிறார்.
Every time a Tamilian takes over position in US or Europe, where they see the name, is very happy to see that, and that his political movement will be a place where even people outside India who is in the US who is making great names will like to contribute to the Tamil Nadu politics, and that through his political movement they will be able to do that.
உலகத்துல மிக முக்கியமான இடத்துல அந்த பாரதம் வந்து அமரும் பொழுது முதன்மை மாநிலமாக தமிழகத்தை கொண்டு வந்து நிறுத்த வேண்டிய பொறுப்பு
Tamil Nadu will be the first state, and that it is his responsibility to make sure Tamil Nadu comes first in the database when they say India is a developing nation, and the Tamil Nadu will be important place in developing India as a nation in itself. And if the question arises, if Tamil Nadu requires any political party at the stand, he says it is important because with the rising inflation, a right party is required to fight against. There are multiple political parties today in the state, but in the future, the political movement that he is starting will turn into a political party that people prefer, that the people will really look at it. It will be a political party which includes common man's decision, which includes common man's issues, which is one that gives solution.
கலாச்சாரமும் பண்பாடும் இல்லை. அதெல்லாம் கூட நம்முடைய அரசியல்ல முதல் நாள்ல இருந்து கல்ட் பாலிடிக்ஸ்ல இருந்து நம்ம வெளியே வரணும். அரசியல் மாற்றம்னு சொல்றாங்க, ஆனா அதே கல்ட் பாலிடிக்ஸ். நாம அதுல இருக்க போறது இல்ல. கல்ட் பாலிடிக்ஸ்ல இருந்து வெளியே.
He will not do cult politics. There is he is not saying that his party or his movement will not be focusing on cult politics. Nothing as such of groups, but he will make sure
சில பேர் போஸ்ட் அடிச்சு ஓட்றா.
that he will make sure that his political party is only for the common man and not a particular cult group.
சமரசம் இல்லாத கொள்கை இருக்கக்கூடிய இயக்கமாக அது கட்சியாக முன்னாடி வரணும்.
It will be a party with ideology based.
ஒரு முதலமைச்சர் தமிழகத்தை மாத்த முடியுமான்னு கேட்டீங்கன்னா கண்டிப்பா முடியாது. முதலமைச்சர் இருக்கக்கூடிய 35 கேபினெட் அமைச்சர்கள் மாத்த முடியுமான்னு கேட்டா கண்டிப்பா முடியாது. 234 சட்டமன்ற உறுப்பினர்கள் மாத்த முடியுமான்னு கேட்டா முடியாது.
39 right now at the seat to change the 234 constituencies, MLAs, the 35 ministers, and 40 MPs at the same time. He says it takes time. He says this political movement will start with a corporation councillor, a mayor. Everywhere there's ideology that's important.
Honest, efficient, capable. வேலையை செய்து
முடிக்கக்கூடிய honest, efficient and capable leaders who will take over this political movement forward.
தொடர்ந்து நாம மட்டும் இருப்போம் அப்படி இல்லையே. நம்ம இயக்கம் கட்சியாக மாறும் பொழுது உங்கட்டலாம் பேசி நம்ம டேர்ம்
when this political movement slowly turns into a political party, then people will understand how different this Annamalai's political party is going to be, and that it does not define what other people have done. While it's going to be ideological based, it's not going to be completely focusing only on ruling the state, but also taking opinions of the people.
Permanent MLAs, permanent ministers, permanent MPs, அதை நாம உடைக்க போறோம். அதுல எந்த மாற்று கருத்தும் இல்லை.
His political movement is going to be focusing on breaking permanent MPs, permanent MLAs, permanent ministers.
ஒரு காமன் மேன் என்னை ஆரம்பித்து
how people have agreed him as a common man, how public has agreed him as a common public figure. And it will really speak about it when his political movement officially turns into a political party.
It should flow like a water. New ideas வரணும், அந்த stream போயிட்டே இருக்கணும்.
The ideas that the political movement should be getting, it should flow like a water, and that every common man will be able to support what he is doing.
பேர் கிடையாதுங்க. அதனால தான் ரொம்ப யோசிச்சு நாம கொண்டு வந்திருக்கோம். www.wetheleader.org அப்படிங்கிற அமைப்பு ஏற்கனவே 2020ல
www.leader.org, which is non-organization, is going to be we are the leaders
மூவ்மெண்ட்ல உங்களை நீங்க நினைச்சுக்கணும்.
Existing political movement, a political speech that he had started earlier, and after his speech will make sure that this political movement will be shared with everyone and that everybody can join in this as a volunteer.
Politics. APJ Abdul Kalam ஐயாவுடைய பேர்ல கோயம்புத்தூர்ல We the Leaders
He that his inspiration is APJ Abdul Kalam, and that he will be sharing an ethical center for politics under APJ Abdul Kalam in Coimbatore, make sure the volunteers entering anomalous political movement will have a thing. He's also focusing on training the MLAs who will be contesting in the election facing.
அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணி அரசியல் செய்யக்கூடிய மனிதர்களாக நாம உங்களை கொண்டு வர போறோம். நாம்
anybody as a volunteer who joins the political movement will be training them, even if they are going as an MLA, a proper training will be given to them.
கொள்கையும் வருகின்ற காலத்துல நம்ம எல்லோரும் இணைஞ்சு நம்ம கொள்கையை சொல்ல போறோம். இன்னைக்கு நான் APJ Abdul Kalam ஐயா
all together he will announce what the ideology when the political movement turns into a political party.
கேள்விகள் கேட்டிருக்கேன், லைவா ஒரு பேசுனதை கேட்டிருக்கேன். அவர் சொன்ன அத்தனை கான்செப்ட் இன்னைக்கு நமக்கு எப்ப பொருந்தும்?
He remembers what APJ Abdul Kalam has said in the past about Mission 2020 in 2000, about the Mission 20. He remembers every single dialogue, every single statement made by Abdul Kalam.
நகரத்துக்கு யாரும் போக கூடாதுன்னா புறா providing urban amenities and rural areas,
that urban communities